just popped up over on Twitch. And welcome everyone to the early morning edition of the Bois From Ilos podcast. Do want to first apologize for our absence last week, holiday schedules and all that. But yeah, I think Griffin had a very interesting topic for us right before I hit go live.
Yeah, so I almost shit myself a few nights ago. I was just sitting there, curled up, nice and all sweet like in my bed, and I was perusing my phone while I had on some fucking background noise. I think I was watching Forensic Files at the fucking time, and I felt this fart, and I was like, damn, this is a pretty mean fucking fart. I should get this bastard out of me pretty quick. So, I lifted up my covers, gave myself a little venting. So I'm not going to just fucking unleash hot hell into the tent of my, nice, soft fucking covers. And, I start squeezing. You gotta get it out. I do that. And I'm like, God damn, this one's not coming out. And it wasn't like I didn't feel anything solid moving. It was literally just like I could not unclench my sphincter to force this air out. And then all in one fell movement, I felt something warm and I felt something shift. And I clenched real fucking hard and I went to the bathroom. And that's how I almost shit myself. There you go.
Like father, like son?
God
well, no,
damn it, I just shit my pants.
Yes, I know the Bois From Ilos went live 29 seconds ago. Fuck off, Twitch. God damn. I'm fucking watching.
It's fucking part of it.
Jesus fucking Christ. Yo, you know that stream you're on right now? Checking to make sure it doesn't go down? That went live. And it wasn't 29 seconds ago, you fucks. It was like 2 minutes. So anyways.
2 minutes and 30 seconds at this point.
Yeah. We're slightly late. Because I, after waking up at 7 o'clock, decided, let me just lay here for a bit because I feel really good right now. I'm sure if it gets close, someone's gonna message me or something and be like, "Hey, you're late," and they trusted me too much.
Okay, no, so, Griffin. To be fair, of the three of us, you were the one that is the most easily trusted when it comes to times.
Yes, because usually I don't fucking lay in my comfy bed longer. But god damn it, it was too tempting. And after that dream I had, Jacob, you'd have done the same. We wouldn't have heard from you till tomorrow.
To be fair though, Griffin, I messaged you at 8:52 and I said, help, he's playing Farming Simulator.
Oh, no. The problem is fucking...
Okay, don't say help. You and I were having a damn good conversation about that shit, Joe.
That's not how it sounded to me, Jacob. It sounded to me like you were reading him your manifesto.
Because I entertained it because I was genuinely curious, but I started learning about things I didn't even know about, and I still didn't know about them no matter how much Jacob explained, so I was like, what the fuck?
Well, it's like, okay, literally, because, I got talking about the topic of silage, and if you don't know, the basics of farming, you're not gonna get silage if I just jump into fucking silage. You don't go from literally nothing to how to ferment grass and make biofuel out of it.
So anyways, Jacob, on your Farming Simulator recap check-in date, this is your last podcast before you go into recap.
That's right. You were supposed to call this on the anniversary.
Well, I mean, so I don't know if Joe told you this, Griffin, but literally as soon as after you got off, yeah.
She informed you that you spent your whole fucking night playing farming.
To those at home, we were playing Halo Infinite last night at around 9? 9, 10
even 9, I don't think it was. I think it was actually a little bit earlier than that.
It was 9 or 10-ish, around then. You'll get the idea. They left me. I hopped on Farming Sim, and I have been playing Farming Simulator nonstop since 9 at night last night. Okay, I will take that back. I played about an hour of Warframe and then went right back to Farming Sim.
Now, Jacob, how does that make you feel?
Honestly, pretty nice. It was a nice, enjoyable evening.
evening.
Yeah.
Now, now, Jacob, are we gonna hit a point today where you're sitting there and we ask you a question and we don't hear anything, and then like 10 minutes later you get back and you're like, "Oh, wait, what happened?"
No,
Or
because
you
I'm
just
not running a
zoning out?
because me talking with you guys takes a lot less mental energy than running a damn D&D campaign.
I don't know about that, Jacob.
My
I don't
favorite-
know.
Why the fuck does it
My
say
fa-
we have 5 viewers? Us of all people.
Because someone put it on their story so that people could see we were doing it.
Yeah.
And mentioning it doesn't help keep them. So don't mention it again, you fuck.
My favorite thing about the insane Jacob arc is when he starts cackling like a maniac. He only got 1 hour of sleep, and then he says, "Sorry, guys."
What?
Yeah, no, to be fair, that's the problem. You do these ridiculous fucking things, and you don't even fucking mention it. You're just like, oh, yeah, okay. What?
What? What do you mean?
We're not gonna brush past the fact that you've been up for, if we started at 9, over 12 hours
Yeah.
straight playing just Farming Simulator.
Okay, and your point?
Jacob, where's the body?
There it is.
I can't. I'm not gonna be held fucking accountable for your crimes.
No, it's our. No, you know where the body is, Griffin. Same place that teenager's body would have been that night if shit hit the fan at your house.
Listen now. Don't get me involved in this. God damn it. That was your own accord. I told you multiple times, Jacob, you don't accelerate around sharp curves. And then you decide to be fucking Tokyo Drifter on the fucking street, and you just plowed through that middle schooler.
Dude, that shit was fun though.
What the fuck is going on?
Don't worry about it, son.
Anyways,
Your father
on
and
to the
I
real
have done some shit in our life.
On to the real topic. Joseph, why do you hate Borderlands 3 now?
Well, it's one of those things where Borderlands 3, like, look, I'll be honest, I really did Borderlands right off the bat. Like, I thought it was probably the best fucking thing since sliced bread. And I was like, they got a cool little robot, and they got a cool little siren that has fisting abilities. That's pretty cool. And then I realized, and that's that Borderlands takes 6 years to make for some reason. And so because of that, they're 6 years late on all of their jokes. Their punchlines for their jokes hit 6 years before the game was even released. And so the fact that I go into Borderlands and I hear Bitcoin jokes and Fortnite jokes like they just happened kind of makes me have a fucking brain aneurysm. And the story is garbage. The story is outright garbage. And just everything else, there's no replay value anymore. You could be like, oh, well, they have 4 DLC. Yeah, 4 DLC that were honestly like really quick compared to the entirety of Borderlands 2's DLC. And, there's nothing really entertaining. The only one that I really fully enjoyed was the the H.P. Lovecraft themed one. That one was pretty cool. And then
An H.P. Lovecraft themed one?
yeah, they have one. It was it was with Hammerlock and his boyfriend. I keep forgetting his name. Jacob Randall.
Yeah. Yes. What do you need?
It was Hammerlock and Jacob Randall getting married, and they got married at some sort of retreat that was also home to like fucking Lovecraftian horrors and shit like that. And so it was like heavily like inspired by that and like H.P. Lovecraft mythos and everything. It was actually really good. The first DLC, don't even remember what it was because it was doo-doo. Third DLC was something about dinosaurs, and I was like, oh, cool, they're adding a new vehicle. It'll be dinosaurs. Nope, fuck you. You don't get to ride dinosaurs. You get to ride these little circular bikes like you're in fucking Star Wars. Dumb shit. Hated it. And then the fourth one was kind of alright because mainly because Krieg was my favorite character from Borderlands 2. But you're like inside of Krieg's mind trying to figure out why he is the way he is. And that's pretty much it. It's just a fucking clusterfuck. The last DLC, the only reason that it's fun is because it's just a bunch of random shit and it's actually like challenging because they're like, hey, how much shit can we throw at this entire like team and be like, oh yeah, by the way, this is balanced because haha silly Krieg funny, and that's it. There's no replay value.
So what I got from that basically was that in Borderlands 4 they'll be making jokes about NFTs.
I'm not going to. I swear to fucking God. You know what the funny thing is?
Don't try to act like there won't be a fucking collectible throughout the entire game. That's just NFTs.
Oh yeah, I know. The funniest shit is that like 3 years before Borderlands 3 was released, I had seen a joke before, and it was like, how much do you want to bet that Claptrap is gonna floss at some point in fucking Borderlands 3? And lo and fucking behold, 3 years later, almost 4 years after Fortnite has been a thing, Claptrap flosses at one point, from what I believe. And from what I can recall, I am pretty sure that Claptrap does perform the floss.
I have hated that fucking robot since I played the first game, and my feelings have never gone beyond like a simmering hatred. Only lower. He's not funny. He's not endearing. He's just terrible.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where it's definitely devolved more in Borderlands 3 because they realized, yeah, he's really a silly, goofy throwaway character. We can have him literally get smited by God himself, and he survives because not because it makes sense in the story, but because haha, funny robot makes silly sound. Funny robot all alone.
Literally.
Funny robot.
So I haven't played a lot of Borderlands, to be honest. It's just not one of those. It's kind of like Mass Effect. It's one of those ones that just I never got into.
You've never played Mass Effect?
No, and it's one of the things like I've talked about this a few times with a few other friends who are really into it, and it's like it's just one of those ones that I just like. The story and lore seems interesting. I just have no desire for whatever reason to play the games, right?
Fair.
But I did try to play Borderlands. Like I have the whatever they because when they bundled, what was it?
The Handsome Jack collection.
Yeah, the Handsome Jack collection. I have that on my PlayStation, and I tried to. I got the started playing Borderlands 2. And I saw Claptrap, and I was like, I immediately just like, yeah, no, I don't like it at all.
Now, I would like to say, I would like to at least give some positives about the Borderlands franchise.
Sure.
First off, being that the first Borderlands wasn't that bad, and like there's a lot of people that didn't like it, but it wasn't that bad, and if anything, that was the best iteration of Claptrap, because he wasn't over the top like fucking stupid. It was kind of just, he's not a very smart robot, and he doesn't have a outrageously annoying voice actor playing him, and he's very calm. Or no, it was the same voice actor, but he's not acting outrageous. And when stuff happens to him, it's like, oh yeah, it is actually kind of funny because they don't overplay it. They don't focus on it. They don't say, ooh, Claptrap stuck in the snow for 5 minutes. Hee hee, haha, look at him, bathe in his misery. No, it's just stuff happening to him.
Is Claptrap basically the Jingle Keys of fucking robots?
I mean, there's one way to think about it.
It actually no. You know what it is, and Jacob, you'll get this more than Joe will. Claptrap is effectively if you took Shia Gorath's dialogue and you didn't make it like charming.
Oh no, I can get that too. Yeah.
This is the perfect way. If Gilbert Gottfried voiced Shia Gorath,
oh my god,
that's Claptrap.
Okay. Don't be that mean to him. Don't be that mean to him.
Okay, fine then. If Jar Jar Binks voiced Shia Gorath.
I'm sorry, but it just reminded me of something, and it's that there's also a Borderlands movie coming out, and Jack Black is voicing Claptrap.
What?
You know what? That's fitting, and it'll probably be the most enjoyable thing in it.
It probably will be, but all I can imagine is just fucking fuck.
Is it gonna be like fucking
See, See, now I can only imagine fucking Kung Fu Panda as a little robot.
Stairs.
Is this gonna be fucking? Is Jack Black gonna be the goddamn? What's his name? Fuck. Jim Carrey of this movie. Like, is Jack Black gonna be to the Borderlands movie as Jim Carrey is to the Sonic movie?
I don't know. The Borderlands. Look, the movie doesn't even sound promising. I'm gonna be honest with you, Griffin. You remember who Roland is, right?
Yes.
You know, very serious, stoic man. Doesn't make a lot of. Who do you think is playing as him?
Okay. I want you to give me like a tier of actor.
Like kind of like multiple choice.
Sure. Give me multiple choice, because I would imagine, if they had even like the money or reach, they'd get someone like pretty fucking good and like serious.
Okay, so, there's A, Jamie Foxx,
Which would make
B,
sense to me.
Michael Jordan.
Okay, I could maybe see it.
C, Samuel Jackson. Or D, Kevin Hart.
It's Kevin Hart, isn't it?
Oh, it's Kevin Hart. Dog, Roland's like 7 feet tall.
That's what makes it so funny.
Even Michael B. fucking Jordan would make more sense.
If anything, I'm pissed, mainly because of the fact that Batista is not playing as Brick. He was.
Who do they have as Brick?
I don't recall. I don't know if they actually did cast a Brick. They casted a Kree, so I was assuming they had the original cast. Brick. Borderlands movie.
They should cast fucking Matthew Lillard as Mordecai.
Oh, so they have a villain, and an original villain called Crom in it, actually.
Excuse me?
The villain is called Crom, and it's spelled with a K.
Alright, no, hold on. Let me contact my fucking lawyers. This is horseshit.
Griffin.
Yeah.
So first of all, I had an idea, and my players might see this, so I'm gonna be kind of vague about it. But let's just say Hero Forge gift for them, anyways. But I was looking at my kind of my list of models that I've made in Hero Forge. You know what I came across? Came across me. The model of me. For a certain Fallout campaign that was supposed to happen. Let's go ahead and cover that story.
Should we?
We should. That should be put out for all the world to see.
Put that man on blast. Do it.
Yeah, so essentially, Joe, I ended up making a mini of myself for a campaign Griffin had planned out.
Mm-hmm.
Which we're still doing, goddammit.
Yeah, and I still have the model file. I still have the mini files, so I can still buy it.
When we get to the goddamn point to where we have much better scheduling and shit like that, and when I say much better scheduling, I just mean like more open scheduling that's more consistent. Goddamn it, I am taking you all through Virginia as a post-apocalyptic wasteland.
And maybe in a time when where our one IRL group isn't trying to play 3 different goddamn campaigns.
Yeah, well, fuck, it was gonna be more. So let me start with a little bit of background. So, hi, I'm Genghis. So me and I'll be nicer than you are, Jacob, and I'll go with initials. So me and someone I used to cavort with, shall we say, named F, we'll go with. A small man, kind of ugly. I say it in the most nicest way I can. Not really. We happen to have
was built like a brick shit house.
He was built like a fucking Roblox character. Yeah, I can't take that away from him. We happen to have quite a fond enjoyment of tabletop role-playing games and Fallout. And just one evening, he mentioned, gosh, it'd be really cool if there was a Fallout, like, D&D type game. So I did a single Google search, as I do with most things, and I found a D&D 5e system that was reflavored and changed to fit Fallout with extra rules, different equipment, like fucking 2 whole books of fucking custom creatures and shit. And then I went out and I found a little secondary piece that fit with the rules of 5e and gave post-apocalyptic style classes and races that was all clearly themed to Fallout, but just, didn't word it as such because, you got to be fucking careful.
Literally D&D and Fallout stuff with the names filed off and replaced for copyright reasons.
Yeah, basically. And it cost me like $10, I think, something like that. So I downloaded it, so that you could fucking use it. I went ahead and I got it. And then I purchased a second copy and sent it to him for legal reasons. And we started planning it out. Now, we had 2 different ideas. My idea, the idea I'd always originally had, because it was something I always wanted to do, was I wanted to take people through the world as they know it in a post-apocalyptic form as themselves. Hence why, when we did our character creation, that fucking should not have taken as long as it did. And, again, fuck you guys for my charisma. That was kind of fucked up. That was still kind of foul.
To be fair, this wasn't too terribly long after high school, so there was still that. We were still.
It was like a year.
That's not too terribly long if you think about it. Anyways, this was still after ADHD medication, Griffin. So.
Yeah, boys, I was fucking off of it, you prick. Anyways, when we did our stats and shit, we didn't roll for them. We didn't do point bar or anything. We talked about it and we determined as a group, okay, what is someone's stats? So if you were deemed to be very smart, you'd have a high intelligence. And I think I put a cap of, what was the cap I put?
No, there wasn't really even a cap.
No, there was a cap because I was gonna have ways for you all to get boosts to your skills within the game, which is why it didn't matter. I know I had none of them could be lower than 8.
I think it may have been 18?
No, 16. It was 16.
I was just I didn't think you had a cap because I could have sworn that you had just fucking maxed out your intelligence score. Because that was one of the few times I've ever gotten a genuine compliment from you, by the way. Because Griffin looked at me and goes, I mean this with all sincerity. Jacob's one of the smartest people I know, and I was like, damn, if I'm one of the smartest people you know, you either don't know a lot of people or know a lot of dumb people.
No, see, the real fucked up part is, of course, it made me sound like a fucking retard because you came in that day in, I think, your Wild West fucking gear, talking about random shit after you barely found us because you couldn't decipher Cubans playing dominoes on a porch.
No, I was scared to approach the Cubans playing dominoes on the porch because I didn't know them. I had never met. Okay, when I went to go meet these guys, first of all, this was an hour away from my house, so I don't know the area. I don't know if I'm in a good area. I don't know if I'm gonna walk out here and get shanked.
You're in a community where every house has 2 fucking floors and is fucking modern.
Shut up. And second of all, I had never met F. I had never met another guy, A, who was also there. I only knew Griffin. So I don't know where the fuck I'm going. And my social anxiety got the better of me.
Wow. Wait for putting me out there. I was going to go by G, but thank you. Fuck with you. Anyways, so Jacob dropped the ball.
I can't.
But so here's the thing. Here's where
if that was Wild West Day or not.
Here's where the first thing went wrong. So the entire premise of my campaign was that it would take place where we live. Because everyone knows it, it'd be, interesting to, be able to change things, and I'd be able to use Google Maps for everything. I'd be able to literally I wouldn't have to fucking map anything. I wouldn't have to think of anything because everything's in its place. I'd have to add a few things for fucking
World
extra
flavor.
construction and shit. Yeah, but you know, everything would be there. You know, I thought that'd be incredibly interesting. You know, a more realistic, and yeah, you know, there'd be like mutants and like crazy shit like that, but
I mean, like,
it was more designed to be a post-apocalyptic D&D game rather than a Fallout one.
yeah. Like, I
But
honestly, me going into it as a player was fucking hyped because this was also around the time where I had really started picking up on how to get places in our area. So I was like fucking hyped to be able to use my real world knowledge of the area to be like, oh yeah, if we need these, we get these resources for the night. If we go down this road into this area, we could follow this highway to get to where we need to go, right?
yeah, and that would have made a fucking difference because every single bit of movement I was going to map out with it to see how long it took, because you can fucking do that. And it's a bit tricky in some fucking cases because you can't just walk everywhere and doesn't have full things pathed out. But for the most part, it'd be like, oh, if you know like a real shortcut in real life, it might help you because you know some roads might not have as many fucking like cars all abandoned on it because there were less people on it at that time. So all these things were going to matter. And you know the technology could be the same and you wouldn't have to worry about stuff like that, and I wouldn't have to worry about like the bits of world building that Fallout doesn't fully elaborate on because they didn't need to, and you know it's just gonna be like that. F, his idea was he really liked Fallout Tactics, and he wanted to make a campaign that was in the Midwest in like the Chicago area. I was like, all right, cool, and I helped him to find a person on Reddit, the hive of scum and villainy that it is. I helped him find a person there that would actually make him like a full-on Fallout themed, like Pit-Boy style Chicago map. And you know, got them connected. He did all the fucking business with her, got it made, and all that. And eventually, he proposed something that I didn't have the heart to deny, which was that, you know, it'd be kind of cool if our campaigns took place around the same time in the same universe. And it was at the time that I wanted to just tell him, no, mine's not even in the Fallout fucking universe. It's in ours. But I was just like, yeah, that'd be kind of neat. Oh fuck. And then we went on for a while trying to work out what our connected fucking lore would be as to how everything was, what it was, and all that. Because I was doing a lot of helping with that because you know he's a very new DM and all that.
I was gonna say this is also like, you know, keep in mind F's first time I think doing a complete homebrew system, homebrew like this, like a mostly homebrew like this.
No, because he fucking did his first campaign, which was a homebrew world and all that, and he added a bunch of homebrew stuff to it. So he had the experience doing it, but it's just like his problem is the same problem he has with everything, which is that if he does well at something, he can't fucking admit to himself that he's actually doing well at it, except for when it's annoying for him to do it, which is a terrible fucking trait to have, but I mean, it is what it is. So he'll do real fucking good at something, and it'll frustrate you even more because he'll be like, God, I did so dog shit. And you're like, the fuck are you talking about? This bitch will go fucking like 30 and 15 in a fucking game and be like, damn, I was fucking terrible. I'm like, you fucking dipshit.
And
oh, God.
For all the non-gamers, it's the equivalent of going up to that kid in high school and being like, hey, what'd you get on that last test? You're like, oh, I did real shit. I got a 97. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. But anyways, so we went through that frustrating process, and then I went through the frustrating process of having to reflavor things to actually be Fallout style. Which it wasn't too hard, but it was just kind of annoying because it did kill the main idea I had of it, and I was slowly planning to just do it fucking anyways in that style with you and fucking Joe here.
Hi.
Yeah. But we did it. I made a whole little plot where fucking like Eulogy Jones, because he didn't officially die, he was gonna be like the fucking big bad with his army of fucking slaves and shit that he had fucking remade, and he had went to the pit, and he had fucking gotten all of them. It was gonna be super cool and all. I thought it was gonna be fun. We never made it to my session, because we had determined a system in which we would do multiple sessions in a row and then we would switch. And I stand by this idea because, in the sense of keeping a narrative flow and getting people used to the system, used to their characters, it made the most sense. It made sense to keep with one game for a few sessions, and then, all right, people starting to understand the characters, starting to understand the reason, then you can switch on, you can go to the other one. And it would give each other adequate time to do arcs.
I can't remember. Were we doing weekly with them?
Yes.
Yeah. So we were doing weekly. And I will say it's also one of those things. I'll say with our group now, that's probably what we're gonna have to do with Joe's new campaign, only because we're a bi-weekly group, and if you do bi-weekly on a brand new campaign, that's a month, roughly. Between sessions, so it's one of those things where you just gotta do a bunch if you're gonna do multiple campaigns.
No. But originally, of course, when we still had Jay in the group, not Jacob, a different Jay, one whose name isn't even Jay, but we'll go with Jay. Oh, and he was there, of course, because he can't fucking schedule shit worth a damn. Probably because he's dumb or something. I don't know. We were only going to be playing one of those campaigns once a month.
Okay, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Is the person you're referring to have anything to do with Go Army?
No, that's Z.
Okay.
The fuck?
I would say I didn't know if you were switching up, first things for even further anonymity.
No.
Okay, yeah,
no,
I don't know who the fuck you're talking about.
No, it's just C.
Why?
What were you asking? When can I hear about R? Like the Loxodon man?
No. God damn it. I'm going to give R credit. The last interactions I ever had with that man, he was a very good player. God damn it. He learned from his mistakes. This motherfucker wrote out a whole message in Thieves' Cant that was completely pointless to fucking do. But he did it because, god damn it, it was an RP thing to do, and he was always paying attention, and he was active, and dog, he dominated the investigation in fucking Theron. Without him, that shit would have gone nowhere.
It would have been even worse than us.
God bless R.
So, something happened in your online group, Griffin?
No.
Oh.
No, R was another member that I had met in person when I went.
Okay. All this shit is getting me fucked up.
Yeah, not Ragor. God damn it. Anyway. But no, with fucking Jay's dumbass scheduling, we would have been playing once a month, and we were all very excited about playing the campaign, and all those other campaigns, none of us were even fucking involved in. So we said, no, goodbye, and we did it anyways.
I do remember at one point they were like, cause you guys said something about it, and F pretty much said, it's like, yeah, with my campaign, like, if we have an opening, you're more than welcome to join. Talking to me, you're more than welcome to join. And then it was like, yeah, okay, no, we have an opening. He's not gonna be there.
No, well, because here's exactly what happened. He was fucking talking about it, and he was like, gosh, I just really don't know what to do. And I laid it on the line. I was just like, listen, he doesn't even fucking consider us when he's fucking doing the campaigns, shit like that, for his own retarded little fucking reasons. Why the hell are we even considering him this fucking much? Because damn it, I was very angry about it. And I'm not angry about it anymore. Still mildly upset, because God, we see a douchebag about that. But anyways, so we go through all this. We have our session 0. it takes longer than we wanted to. But to be fair, we explained basically everything in the session 0.
Yeah.
That was the whole point of it. And then we get.
So you explained everything, and we were doing essentially 2 session 0s in one. So there was that.
Yeah. Yeah, except mine was really just your specific character creation, which was it was just a more involved thing. Which is the only reason why I wanted to do it in person.
How does it feel to know that only one of those characters will ever be played?
You know, in a way, it feels bad. In another way,
You're glad you didn't have to DM for them?
no, because I enjoyed them as players. I did. I mean, I've been very clear about this. I certainly hold hard feelings towards the whole situation, but I mean, I'm not gonna fucking be like, oh god, I fucking hated hanging out with them and fucking playing video games each day. No, I mean we had fun. We were friends and shit.
Or being the operative word there, people.
Yeah. No, I mean it is what it is. And I mean it sucks that I won't be able to do it for him because I had a bunch of things that were designed for like, oh, this would be interesting for him to have to deal with in a real fucking scenario, but it's not going to be there. Now we just have to, have Ghoul Alyssa fight fucking Joe.
Okay, anyways, we digress. Back onto the main story.
On to the actual gameplay. And Jacob, I'm going to let you take the lead here, and I'll just fucking chip in with details because, I've been speaking for a while, and I have this nice little thing of coffee here.
Yeah. So we start off with F's campaign, right? And we get to session 1, and this was the day that I came in after my Wild West event. I don't know if we've mentioned this on the podcast. I play a lot of Airsoft, and I play on the weekends, and I enjoy the roleplay events. I play a lot of D&D, so of course I did enjoy the roleplay events. And one weekend they had a Wild West event, right? So session 1, here I am.
Let me also clarify. All of these took place at my home for the sake of Jacob, because for Jacob it was a very long drive, and for me it was a very long drive to F's house where we were doing it, and F did not have the most welcoming environment to do it in, as in a certain member of his family was not always seen and not heard. That's not a woman joke. It was his father.
Not only that, there's a difference between. There's also a difference, in my opinion, when like you go to do something at someone's house and like you go in and it's like my house or your house, Griffin, or even Joe's house, where like there's stuff on tables and like it very much feels like every space in this house is lived in. At their house was one of the ones where like the area around the kitchen table was like pristine and the kitchens were like completely clean, and you just felt like I'm not supposed to touch anything here. So it was kind of that thing.
But no, like it had been frustrating to play there, but it's the only option that we had technically. And eventually I suggested, hey, listen, we can just do it at my fucking place. I don't have as much room in terms of like table space and shit, but like when it's time to fucking go, I know everyone in the fucking house is gonna fucking go somewhere else, and they're gonna make themselves not fucking noticed for it. But so it's the easiest. And I think you can attest. I think you can attest. It was a better environment.
Yeah, it's also one of those situations of the overall situation for travel was honestly kind of fucked. There was no way that we could have really had someone host where more than one person was being fucked over on travel time, right?
Yeah. And one of the main reasons I chose it because like I was fucking driving that long for a while. I've been doing it for so fucking long. I was like, listen, it's gonna suck for you all, but like if you feel you're just too tired, you can stay for a bit and like fucking nap until you get your fucking energy back up, or otherwise, I mean, I don't mean to just fucking like wave it off like this, but I had been fucking doing it for over a year at that goddamn point. Suck it up.
Yeah,
God damn it.
I'll say as someone who at the time was doing this job too, but drove where I had a period of time personally where my commute, and this was depending on whether or not I wanted to sleep in my own bed that day. So that gives you the perspective of what situation I was in. Um, my daily commute could be anywhere from 3 hours, just about 3 hours, to upwards of 5 in a single day, and I was doing that I was doing that 5 days a week, just about, and like I will say 5 days a week for a short period was like the 5 hour commute, but like 3 hours, yeah, I did that for 2 years straight, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
So I can understand. I understand when Griffin was like, I don't want to drive that length anymore, because it was a good hour to get to their house, to get to F's house from where we were at.
Yeah.
Because it's just honestly the shitty part of being in our area is, unless you're dealing with people in our immediate area, everything just gets like, it's exponential and how spread out things get around here.
Yeah. And
Like,
mind you, I was doing that while also picking up a player each fucking time, so my trip took longer.
yeah.
Which, mind you, I volunteered to take him each time, because initially it was going to be an issue of how he would get there, and I was just like, fuck it, yeah, I'll do it. I don't care. He's on the way. So
yeah,
fucking, I did it willingly. God damn it.
Yeah. And that kind of puts it in perspective, because like when Griffin was like, "Oh yeah, I'll do this," I was like, "Thank God," because again, I was working. I want to say this was also when I was working third shift, so I was working third shift on the weekdays, going into a regular back into like a quote unquote normal, 9 to 5 sleep schedule on the weekends, to switch back into a third shift sleep schedule on the weekdays, right? So, and driving an hour and 10 minutes both ways to get to work. So yeah, I was very much in a point of like, yeah, no, we're doing it at Griffin's house, because I'm not making the drive all the way up to that part of the state. Like, driving a good half of the state, half of the state's height, halfway to the damn capital of the United States, on the weekends just to play D&D. Like, I was playing online. I think I had an online group at the time, or I had an online group I could have gotten together if I really wanted to. But anyways, so we get to the first session, and I forget the name of the town. I really do.
How could you?
What was it?
It was Midtown.
Oh yeah, Midtown.
Because it was in the middle of the fucking map.
Yeah, so it was the middle of the map, and it was Midtown, right? And then we had kind of got character introductions. I forget their. Oh, we had Zod, right?
Oh, good old Zod.
Zod, who was a Vault Dweller, right?
I don't know what the fuck. I think his was like a secret in some fucking way.
Yeah, his like secret, but essentially, like from what we could tell, he was a Vault Dweller because he had a pit boy. I remember that much. I forget what class he was. Not really all that important for the story.
Wait, fuck. Was Zod A or Z?
Zod was Z.
Okay, he was a ranger.
He was a ranger.
Or scout, I think. No, ranger. We'll just call it ranger. I don't remember what they exactly call it.
Yeah. Then you had A's character, who was, I think, a Vault Dweller, because he had
was a synth, actually.
He was a synth Vault Dweller because he had a pit boy. I know that again, because when we got to the metro station, they were the only two that had any light.
Yeah. And he was a scientist.
And he was a scientist class.
Fucked, because I had already sent in my fucking character by the time he said it in the channel. I was like, well, fuck, I don't want to have two scientists. God damn it.
But we made it work because of my character, which we'll get to in a second.
Well, I just didn't want to do it because I didn't want to have repeating classes and like
you didn't want overlapping specialties where one feels like they're taking the spotlight or whatnot.
Yeah, that really was it, honestly, because I was just like, I don't.
And I will say, this system very much was not a like 5e, like vanilla 5e, where you can have two, like, let's say two fighters in a party that cover two different niches. Like, you can have a dex-based fighter in 5e and a strength-based fighter in 5e and have them do two completely different sets of things. They didn't really have this in the system, which I can't really, you can't really fault the system for. It's a fan based conversion, so anything is really, kind of props. I always give props for any small group doing that.
Yeah, which this one I believe was. I know the whole like 5e Fallout thing was made by one fucking person. I don't know how many people collaborated on the classes and races system.
Yeah, but then we have Griffin's character. Which Griffin, do you want to talk about your character real quick?
So I was George. Um, I was a super mutant scientist. Think in the realms of like Fox.
Without
In
the heavy
terms of
weapon
like,
specialty.
it kind of think of like Fox as in like personality and like tone wise, but like kind of like Virgil in terms of like his actual knowledge. His whole thing was that he was a scientist. He got all hit up by the FEV pretty soon after the war. Like he was like one of the original few of like the first fucking army of super mutants, but because of that, that's one of the reasons why he kept more of his senses. And he was like, "Oh, this is kind of fucked. I'm not going to stay here." So he left. And he dipped out of there with his best buddy Lazarus, his little iBot, and basically just traveled along the northern border of the U.S. until he got to Chicago, where we were. And his whole thing was that I was going to go down the engineering specialty with him, and I was basically just going to be the explosives expert. I was just my entire combat utility was going to be I was going to make explosives, which was the primary thing of the engineers, that you could just make fucking explosives, and I was just gonna chuck them all combat long, and just be there and be smart and nice.
Yeah, and then you have my character Lance, who I honestly enjoy playing Lance, because I had another character kind of like him, alignment or morals wise, which was a Drider Druid I played a while back, and Ogden, and essentially both of them were pretty much neutral. It was literally just doing what they had to survive. It didn't really matter. Like they were trending towards good. Like they're not gonna screw you over unless you screw them over, kind of thing. But anyways, Lance was I forget what the class name was. Was it just fighter?
Soldier.
Soldier. It was soldier. And I was gonna
That was the thing about it. That was it. I forgot about it. Every fucking class started with an S.
Yeah, just about.
No, I think it literally was all. I can actually pull it up right now. Keep going.
Yeah, soldier, savage, scientist, scout. Damn. Yeah, because I was gonna say, oh well, the barbarian and all. I was like, no, that was savage, not berserker. Berserker is the Star Wars 5e version.
Yeah.
But Lance is a human, just baseline human. Nothing weird about him. And I was originally going to spec him into being a stealthy sniper kind of guy, like sit mid to long range.
Didn't even last a single session.
That didn't even last session 0. By the way.
Oh, poor boy.
Like, because like the way because the kind of the idea, and I had this idea from the start, was former raider, because I personally like stories of morally ambiguous characters with a evil or morally wrong background, who are going about trying to redeem themselves by just not really being a problem to anybody else, but also still having that morally gray or morally ambiguous tinge to them.
Okay, Zuko alone.
Shut up. That's a goddamn good arc, and you know it.
It's the same arc.
But essentially, his backstory was he used to be with a raider gang on the outskirts of Chicago, literally there just to survive, but eventually just couldn't stomach what those raiders were doing anymore, and so one night volunteered for the nightly watch, used that chance of being the only one awake to escape, and him not being on watch ended up with the raiders getting ambushed by super mutants. So I had opened it up for a plot of the survivors of that raider gang coming back eventually and trying to get their revenge on Lance for fucking them over. But Lance was a soldier, essentially a fighter, who I was originally going to spec in as like a sneaky sniper kind of guy, because I'd looked into this was before I'd looked into mods, which I did afterwards, and if you can rack up some damage with that shit.
Well, now here's the thing. Here's the thing to say. Okay. You can,
but you shouldn't be able to.
No. All those things are designed to not just be, immediately purchased through.
We'll get there, Griffin. We'll get there, Griffin.
In the first town, but moreover, Fallout 5e had like a similar thing that Star Wars 5e does, where like things hit fucking hard.
Yeah, it's
can die quick.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a setting where, because like Star Wars 5e kind of balances it out with, stuff like Saber Ward and being able to have damage in Way of the Minok, among a lot of other things.
Why'd you only list mine?
Because it's the only ones that came to mind. But it's also like a lot of classes get a good amount of health and defensive options, right? In Star Wars 5e. Fallout 5e had the heavy hitting part down, but not the not like the high defensive options, which in my opinion is okay. Like,
to be fair, you're never really a tank in Fallout.
Yeah. Like, and I am okay with that, because Fallout as a setting is supposed to be brutal. Like, go look at Fallout 1 and 2 and the shit that could happen to you in there. So I'm okay with that in the system. Like, that's not a negative to the system. We're just gonna explain how shit went.
Yeah, not like fucking ghouls, which are, like your most basic little fucking shitty mob, had 2 fucking damage dice worth of damage.
Yeah. And for anybody who doesn't know, 2 dice are always better than 1. I don't care what the dice is.
Yeah.
2d4 is always better than a d6 or a d8.
I was about to say, like, of course, better than a fucking d6, you retard.
Yeah, it took me a second. But so I ended up having to do okay, think about that though. Not a lot of real defensive options. Heavy hitting enemies. Not a lot of health. Guess what role I got pigeonholed into, kind of? Frontline defense and attack.
No.
I had to handle both.
Now, no. Fuck you. Because Z's character, Zod, did deal a fair bit of damage. As did A, because he went with the custom weapon for his scientist. Because as a scientist, you got either like custom weapon, custom armor, like a custom robot, or a custom tool. So I went with custom robot, obviously, and he went with custom fucking weapon. So he dealt a fair bit of damage. They all did. The only one who really wasn't dealing damage was me, but that was because my whole damage thing was going to be explosives, and I didn't have my subclass yet.
You were pure utility.
I was pure utility, which is what I wanted to be. I want to just be there. It's like, oh, we need to make a check. I'm your guy. Just fucking tag the super mutant in. We need to just like look scary and shit. All right, I'll be there. Hey, we're at 3rd level now. I can just make explosives out my ass. I got you.
But it's because I ended up taking a pole hook as my starting weapon.
Which you should not have been allowed to take.
Yeah, because it
by all means.
Because it did 2d12 damage, I think.
I don't think it did 2d12 to begin with. I think it did 1d12, and I think you got something else that made it 2d12. I think you took a fucking. What was it? Did you take a fucking perk that did that or something?
Let me look up the thing real quick. Cause I'm pulling it up now. Cause I need to remind myself of this shit.
So while you do that, our sponsor for the day is stevia. Don't buy stevia.
It does not taste good at all. I'm sorry, stevia. It's true.
No,
it's 1d12 per. I think I had a
And you had something that gave it 2d12 though.
Yeah, I did, because I had to do this, but I also got it electrified.
Yes. I think literally the entire thing that happened is you just kept buying shit that should not have been purchasable yet.
Yeah. What is it?
Because literally he printed out every fucking page of the Fallout 5e sub, and he put it all in a big old binder, which props to him. That was very smart to do. He put it in page protectors too, and put it all in there. And he literally handed you the binder and said, anything you see in the equipment is available. Just ask me about it first, which basically just meant you could buy anything.
It was so I had a plus a 1d4 electrical damage.
You know what else is a scam? Activia. Do any old women even eat Activia?
Activia is fucking nasty. I tried it once.
But okay, anyways, I digress. Essentially, I was dealing 2d12 plus a d4 of damage by the end at level like 2, and had a no, I wasn't doing 2d12 with it. I take that back. I was only doing 1d12 plus a d4. It was, let me find it here. Ranged weapons, because I had picked up a ranged weapon at one point, and that was the one that I was going to make into a broken goddamn cannon.
Oh yeah, did you get a fucking harpoon launcher? Was
No,
that what it was?
It was a lever action rifle, which does 2d10 piercing as its base. So it does 2d10, and I was looking at it because because he was just giving us out any, like, it was his only requirement for modifications were that you had the caps for it.
Yeah.
Wrong button.
And he worded it as though he was gonna be like, "Oh, well, I might not give it to you if it's like too much," but that did not.
But the problem was he didn't really know what was too much.
I don't think it was that he didn't know. I think it was that he just didn't think about it because he was trying to juggle so much shit at once that he didn't need to be juggling.
Yeah, because I think it was barrel. I think it was one of the barrel modifications. No, where is it? I think it was in the muzzle.
Anyways, not important.
Okay, essentially, I was gearing up to do like 4d12, 4d10 on a crit plus a bunch of other damages with a crit range of 18 to 20. Like, I was gearing up to be a fucking cannon. Plus, I had decent AC because I was speccing into heavier armors. Anyways, but our story of actually what happens kind of starts off in the town of Midtown. Everybody kind of went in. I don't really remember how the other two got in. I just remember, like,
everyone walked in through the main gate at different times of day.
Yeah, and like the first two just kind of like we're just like, oh, we're exploring. All right, cool. You had a little bit of more interaction because you were a super mutant, and I had a bit of more action because one of the things that I had wanted to also do was make Lance like a small time junk trader. Like he just got picked up like bits of scrap and would pick it up from one place and sell it at another for a profit, stuff like that. Just making enough to get by so he can pay for a beer here or there and get a bite to eat if need be without having to go out and hunt. Right? Like Lance isn't like proud of his background as a raider. It's just what he did to survive, so that's kind of his whole thing. So I go in to be like, hey, I'm just here to trade. And I forget what like the sheriff or whatever was doing, but it was like essentially like being real awkward about me. Like he was suspicious of me getting in for no other reason than I was just trying to get in as a trader. That was like the whole basis of it.
Honestly, that wasn't even the fucking weirdest thing. The weirdest thing was fucking him almost recruiting Zod as a fucking goddamn deputy.
Yeah. He almost recruits Zod as a deputy. We end up all in we all end up in, the town saloon or bar or whatever the hell you want to call it.
So I'm going to give you a little bit of inside baseball, okay? Because he ran a lot of things by me about what he wanted to do with the campaign, including what he wanted to do with Midtown. And I told him this was a fine idea and that he could do it because it would be effective in terms of giving us like a first big plot hook. The thing is, though, it's just how he tried to went about this part was a little bit ham-fisted. What he wanted to happen was we would go on a few missions for the town and get like endeared to him, become like our home base. We're back at Midtown. We're safe now. It'd be kind of like our Megaton in a
Mhm.
way. We'd go on a few missions, and eventually, after going on one, we would come back and we would find it just fucking destroyed through like some big fucking raider attack. And we would see their fucking leader who would have on like power armor and like a fucking Deathclaw gauntlet and shit. And he would basically be like, "Hey, you've been fucking with me. I'm gonna give you all a chance to run at least." And he looked at me and he said, "Now, I know how they fucking play. I don't know about Jacob, but I know how fucking A and Z play. I need you to make sure that you all run because I
See,
don't want to get you all killed." And I was like, "Okay, that works because I will run in that fucking situation and I'll
y-
get them out of there." But that was like the whole point of how like detailed she was trying to be with it, because he was trying to make it something that we could get attached to, but like in a way he was trying too hard for it.
oh yeah. And hey, that wouldn't have been a problem if we had gotten to that point, because just of how Lance rolls.
Yeah,
Lance
no,
would have
I
been
mean,
like,
hey,
"Alright, bye."
if AZ decided to stab you, like, "All right, come on, Lazarus, we're good and out."
No. You know what literally would have happened if we had continued just with the way things were going? Like, okay, the old joke. The old joke. You don't have to be faster than the bear. You just have to be faster than the person next to you.
Yep.
Fucking, I would have pulled out that pole hook and kneecapped one of those fuckers so goddamn fast. Just been booking it like we're booking it. Zod keep starts overtaking me. Ha! Take out his knee. Keep on running. Just be like, "Go, George, go!" Because you were the only player character that Lance actually kind of liked.
I goes, it wasn't doing something mildly stupid or weird.
Because like, okay, you have Lance, who has been through shit. Like, if you're part of a raider gang in any capacity, you've been through shit, right? He has seen the worst the wasteland has to offer. He knows what raiders are going to do, right? And he knows the do's and don'ts of the wasteland. He knows, and we're going to get to this, you don't turn off the power generator in a fucking metro station. Well, like I said, we'll get to that. So Lance, like, throughout a lot of this, would look at what Zod and I don't even remember his A's character name.
It was something very simple. That's what I remember, because we all made fucking fun of it. So it was just like a normal name.
Yeah. But anyways, A and Z's character would like do dumb shit, and like it kind of worked with them both being vault dwellers in their background, where it was kind of like, what are these new bloods to the wasteland fucking doing? Like, what are they thinking with these decisions, right? And it kind of worked. But you also have to think, I kind of got on like where the way Lance also acts when it comes to quest givers. He's very much a, okay, I'll scratch your back, but you're scratching mine. There is no way of getting out of that.
That's sexual harassment, Jacob. You can't say that.
Like at one point, like these caravan guards were like, "Hey, can you help us get our stuff back?" And Lance said, "You're gonna pay me first." They're like, "Well, we have nothing to pay you with." And he goes like, "Okay, well then I guess I'm not helping you out." Like,
Now, here's the thing. Here's what I'll give you, Jacob. While I get where you're coming from with that, that is a retarded stance to take, because you're getting their gear back. You can take what you need.
true,
They're not going to make a difference.
but
I
Lance,
wanted to fucking strike you when you sat there for like a solid 10 goddamn minutes arguing with them over that, because it made no fucking sense.
okay, well,
And George can't tell you to fucking do that, because that wouldn't make sense for him. But Griffin really wanted to tell
you know what my defense to that is.
Quest.
You know what my defense to that is. It's what my character would do.
Yeah, so you weren't thinking.
But like literally though, like I could see Lance being like, "No, there's no guarantee that I'm gonna be able to get that shit back. And I'm putting my ass on the line for you guys. I don't know who the fuck you are. Like,
Okay,
I'm getting
Jacob,
something out of this first."
You're playing what is by nature a difficult character. You have to make him a little bit less difficult to fucking work with to make the game work. God damn it. especially for someone like F who has to have a very meticulously fucking planned thing, or else he fucking loses his shit.
Yeah, no, he did very regularly. But like that, it's just it was the character I kind of enjoy playing those characters. Call me an asshole, call me an annoying dickhead.
Can you imagine why Giorno doesn't fucking like anyone you play?
To be fair, Corgan isn't quite like that. Corgan is very much a pragmatic, nice guy.
I don't know about that one. You were a dickhead to them when you first met them.
I mean, again, people I don't really quite know.
I don't know. You were much meaner to them than you were the people that seemed like they were gonna attack you out in the woods.
I was also kind of trying to figure out how I wanted Corgan to play at that point. So, anyways, back to the story of this Fallout campaign. So we all end up in the saloon one way or another after doing various things around there. Like, I think someone picked up a quest from, or like A's character helped out the lady at the infirmary kind of place, the medical place. Some of us kind of stopped into the different shops around there. Just kind of saw what was going on, but we all ended up there. And again, another point of my character being difficult to work with was the bartender, I think it was, gave you guys a job and then was like, hey, what about that guy over there? He could help you out too. Like, pointing to my character. And Lance is like,
yeah, because you were supposed to just be like, oh, hold on now, work. But you're just like, oh no, it's not my big fucking deal.
That's just like, no, I don't want to. I have an income.
At this point, F is just fucking glaring at you.
Yeah, no, he was like glaring at me. He's like, why?
Because you, Jacob, know what you should do in that situation.
I know what I should do in that situation. And what I should do is, play my goddamn character. Fuck you.
Jay, you can play your character after you've actually let the campaign begin, because you were on fucking route to literally just sitting in the bar the whole fucking time and not fucking playing. God damn it. Here's the thing, all right? I get it. That's your fault for making your character difficult to work with, and you shouldn't do that basically ever.
I shouldn't have done that without talking it over more with F and being like, hey, look, this is how my character is, this is how I want my character to be, and then like talked it out from there of either him being like, yeah, no, I don't want to deal with that, or him being like, okay, cool, I'll try my best. And then a lot less would be on me, but no, like, I didn't even give him, like, I wasn't able to really give him a finalized backstory of where I wanted to go until, like, day of. So now, that's on me just being a lazy asshole.
Official Bois From Ilos PSA. If you're making a character, don't go with the difficult to work with. You can make them a bit of an asshole. You can do whatever you want with their personality, but if you're playing a fucking game that is about working as a group to go on quests, you have to be willing to work with people.
Yeah, you do. Don't get me wrong. Morally ambiguous is fun to play, but make it a character that would still go along with the shit that's gonna happen. Because that was the thing with Talistra, like, her whole thing is that she had been hired on for a job, and that's why she was working, because they were all working the same job, and she was willing to cooperate with it for the cash. So,
also, don't be like Seamus and constantly tell the party out of character that you're willing to leave them if shit hits the fan because you don't care about them yet. Say it in your mind, not out loud.
I'm sorry, I'm very vocal about my shit and my thoughts. I am very much brain connects straight to mouth. There is no in between.
I will war priest you, you fuck.
And I more so make I will say though with Seamus though, I more so make those as jokes.
You sound very joking when you fucking literally tried to run away.
Yeah.
In a test combat.
Okay, in my defense, it's not like we were in a party at that point. We literally started off the test combat fighting each other.
No, you attacked me.
It was test combat.
Literally, Joe set it up. I was just minding my own half-orky business, and you went up and shot an arrow at me, you fuck.
Okay, then then blame Joe for having us immediately roll initiative and say you gotta fight.
What do you mean blame me for that? We
Didn't shoot the arrow.
yeah.
Oh, so I should have just sat there and done nothing?
You should have used your first action to talk to me.
Anyways.
I didn't think you guys would immediately attack each other right off the bat. I thought maybe you guys were gonna talk to me like, hey, well, this shit's mine, and then fight. But no, you're just like, yes, murder.
Well, no, because if you had asked that, I'd be like, oh, okay. I mean, you can take half of it. And I'll just take half. I just need like some food and stuff, bro. But I don't care about the gold.
There we go. Practice combat averted.
Anyways.
No. This guy's just like, oh, let me knock an arrow. Jenga.
Jenga.
Fuck, dick.
Me playing a ranger just to make that joke incessantly about crits.
Ugh. So anyway, speaking of crits,
But
37 damage.
did you say 37?
Or no, was it hold on, no, I'm trying to think. It was because I was 3 off.
It was 38.
Yeah, 38 damage, level 1. Gotta love it.
38
AKA
damage.
how much damage I ended up hitting my fighter with and flattening him against the goddamn pavement.
But fall.
Those kids in my last session got their shit kind of handed to them because their main fucking tank just got one tapped by a crit. I feel bad. Anyways, back to Fallout.
So essentially, we're all in the bar. In the bar, getting our meals in for the day because we're keeping track of that.
Yeah,
and
the
eventually,
system did have full rules for starvation and hydration and everything.
And then we eventually got well, we eventually, the bartender's like, hey, I got a job for you guys. I got the agony that is talking Lance into actually helping you do anything. And they're like, okay, just, and this was one thing I was like, it's like I could understand this this is personal preference, really. Like, I could understand using this as a quest in a video game. It felt like a very video gamey quest. But just giving you the general objective of help the townspeople. I'm like, I was like, okay. I know why he's doing this. Like, I don't have the backstory of the town getting raided or anything. I'm like, I know why he's doing this. It's getting us to interact with more people, getting us to get a few plot hooks maybe, and to go off of that and give us just a little laundry list of things to do. But it just still, I don't know, I think personally it felt weird coming from the bartender. Like, if when we had entered, the sheriff was like, hey, these other people came through, I've already gotten them on the job as well, would you mind helping out the townspeople? It's stuff that I would usually help take care of, but I can't because of increased raider activity in the area.
Well, I think the idea was that bartender was supposed to be kind of like Trudy was in Good Springs, where they're not like any official leader in the town or anything, but like there's someone that people respect. So they're like, hey, things been kind of shit around here. Can you help us? And just like, go around and help folks and stuff like that. Since, I live here and I'd like it to be less shit. So I didn't mind it. I see where you're coming from with it. Yes, it feels like a very video gamey thing, but I mean, we're playing fucking Fallout.
I mean, and there is that to it. But I also think it was more so because that never really came across to me, personally. Like, I never got that vibe off of this bartender. Like, it was literally just, like, cause the extent of pretty much all of our interaction with her so far had just been ordering food.
Well, Jacob, did you ever get the fucking vibe from Trudy before them just literally telling you that's what it was? No one even interacted with her beforehand. I mean, I'm not gonna say it was done fucking well, but that was just the fucking point of it.
Yeah, I'm just saying it.
Plus, you have a difficult time picking up on things on occasion.
I
Mister,
do.
you don't have batteries.
Okay, there's a difference between my brain just zoning the fuck out and me not getting social things or,
Is
story
there?
plots. Yes, there is. Anyways,
Mm.
so we go around talking to the different shopkeepers essentially. And I think we got a job to go to a super duper mart, right?
Yeah.
Go to a super
Something like
duper
that.
mart
What
for
exactly were.
to go get the medical supplies from the pharmacy. Um, then there was one guy who had, I think it was the general store guy or the
Uh,
gun store guy.
gun, I think.
Yeah, who his last shipment from a caravan had been short on materials, but they still made him pay full price. Um, and I don't think Preston from the general store gave us anything.
No, he did. He did. Um,
What was his?
I don't remember, but he did give us something.
Yeah, I don't think we ever got to it. That was the thing.
Yeah.
So
Fuck it, not important. Anyway,
first
let's just
thing-
go over what we actually did.
yeah, first thing we took care of was the caravan. I think we didn't we go talk to them, and then we got sent out to that one spot on the highway.
Well, we talked to them. You almost started to fight. You and Zod, which I believe me and A did our best to try and de-escalate.
Yeah.
And then we got sent out to the highway.
Yeah, we got sent out to a highway where they had gotten ambushed. And where we
My boy Lazarus, he went down.
Mm-hmm. And I got fucking cock blocked from kneecap. Apparently, like, I don't know what it is, because this happened in the online group too. Apparently, like, people just draw the line at busting a person's kneecap. I don't know why. Because, like, this is a raider shithole that we were dealing with. Okay, so we got into a combat encounter, real quick. We got into a combat encounter, left one alive to ask him where the supplies were. Alright, cool. We're interrogating him. Lance had decent intimidation. So I was like, fuck it. Lance also does not like raiders, because like as much as it was like a thing for survivability, he does not really condone or did not find any joy or downright hated some of the shit that they did. So he hates raiders, honestly, at this point. Like, he thinks they're just unrelentingly cruel, and he hates himself for what he had to do, what he did, right? So when it comes to raiders, he's like, fuck them. They have no reason to do the things they do, and yet they do them, right? Fuck them. So Lance is just like, all right, fuck it. He's not gonna talk. I don't give a shit about him anyways. Gonna kill him anyways. Go to fucking bust his kneecap in. Oh no! Stop! And they keep me from doing that because I fucked up on a strength check. They're like, no, you can't do that to him. That's cruel. You don't want to do that yet. I'm like,
Remember this for one very important scene later.
yeah. I'm like, why not? It's a raider. Like, oh no, that'd be messed up, man. And like, I also want to bring up because like on the online campaign I'm running, the warlock was like, fuck it, he doesn't need his knees. We're gonna kill the cultist anyways. And the party was like, no. And you guys know what happened to that poor cultist. So that poor fucker.
Yeah, neither group had very good explanations for what they did.
Yeah, like for both of them, they're just
other
like,
than what I did at the end of it, which fucking I'll stand by. God
Oh,
damn
yeah.
it made sense.
So like essentially Vance is like, okay, they're not gonna let me fucking do what I want to do. Fuck it, you guys can interrogate him. And went off to go help out George as best he could with giving him like the scrap he had on him.
Yeah, well, because George also went down in the fight, George and Lazarus.
Yeah.
So I was down and I was unconscious, like as they were doing this.
And I went and brought George up.
Yes.
Nobody else did.
And when you did, yay, my heart filled with rage, pure super mutant rage, at seeing one of these raiders who the only thing I knew about them was that one of those fuckers killed my best buddy Lazarus. So I fucking charged him and I picked him up and I threw him. And I threw him with enough force that he went and scattered against the ground and died. And then I apologized. I picked up Lazarus. We went back to town. I repaired Lazarus, and then we continued on.
I said we did get the supplies that were lost per the caravan, and we brought them back and gave them to the town the store owner. And then was this then when we went to the Super Duper Mart?
Yeah, we went there and we did the whole thing with them, which that was
an okay encounter.
It was okay, but it was one of those things where again he didn't really handle divvying up how people could do what they were doing at what time, because like there were a bunch of things that I wanted to do in there, but like it didn't get to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the things I wanted to do had been done, so I was like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'm not going to go and help them with it. That'd just be kind of dumb.
Yeah,
so,
like I will say, so like one big thing a lot of people are like, oh, action economy and combat. It's like, yeah, that's a thing. And that's a very important thing to be able to handle. Like, trust me, I cracked a joke while doing a combat encounter Sunday that involved a lot of NPCs. I was like, fun fact, the most panic-inducing part of being a DM is having to run combat between two NPC characters because you feel like you're using up a lot of valuable time.
That's not a joke. That's just an observation.
Yeah. Well, I had cracked it in a joking manner, just be like, ha ha ha, ease the tension and everything. But there's also action economy outside of combat. And if you have a group that sticks together and does everything together, like most of what my online group has been doing so far, like I won't say they're doing it all the time, but most of the time they're doing stuff as a group. The only times they really split up is when they've been in Tanville and they're spreading out in like the more martial based characters are going to like the blacksmith and stuff to do stuff there, while the rogue and cleric and druid are getting like potions and other stuff goods like that. And that's just because those are in two different parts of the city, so they have to, or they can do it all as one, but they just cover more ground.
And let me say this very quickly. In his first campaign that he did, which was in a proper D&D 5e setting, with the gazebos that were just mildly racist. I don't know what changed, because he did a perfectly fine job of handling those sort of interactions, and that he did fine. And then we got to
the fallout where literally like it was so bad that Griffin and I had whole ass conversations until he even thought to be like, oh, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, and not like conversations because we were trying to be fucking rude and just not paying attention. Conversations because just nothing involved us to any degree to where we would even have to fucking know about it. So it's just like, oh, hey, yeah. And usually we were also talking about what we were going to do.
Yeah, like
because
we
have fucking time to think about it. Yeah.
But like literally outside of combat, action economy is very, very important, because like it's you can handle it with a bunch of people fairly easily. If you can handle it, like, great, good on you. But like if not, like if they're doing like, okay, so in the one shot that I ran for that group, like let's say they're all going to different rooms that's on the same hallway. Essentially have in your brain a makeshift turn order. So you go one person and what they're doing in there, and once they're finished with that, go into the next person, and then once they're finished with that, go into the next person within reason. Like if you get to a certain limit, you're like, okay, real quick, let me hop over to this person, I'll get right back to you.
Yeah. Well, that's why I've always handled it by I'll ask, all right, what do you all want to do? And I go through each one and I get what they want, and then we'll handle it in order of what would take the longest or what would come first.
Yeah.
That's all you have to fucking do is just, prioritize what would be quickest and what would ideally happen first if everyone was moving simultaneously, and then boom, you go. And it sounds more complicated than it is because like once you've done it a few times, you start to get a fucking feel for okay, yeah. So you're going to this place. That's about this far. So we'll get to you in a moment. You two, what are you doing? Okay, yeah, no. So that's
Yeah.
gonna be quick.
It very much is also like a sense of just you know when in too long is too long, and generally by the time that your characters have made a IED capable of leveling a building, it's been too long. Again, we'll get to that in a second.
Super duper part.
But anyway, super duper mart. So we go in and we're in one part of the super duper mart, and me being essentially the tank of the group, as much of a tank you can be in that system. I go out. I make sure that I'm pushing in first. We get in there and there's like, oh shit, there's ghouls. And essentially we had. I kind of liked this how this kind of ended up happening, because what we ended up doing was I took a few. I think it was like me and George were at one point and we were like, and George handed me a grenade and I was like, oh, I know what the fuck I'm doing with this, because my idea was there's aisles to the store, so if we cause a distraction in one aisle to get all the ghouls to funnel down to it, and then we just drop a few explosives on them, bing bang boom, fucking fireball.
Now here's the thing. That idea would have been fine if not for the fact that you could see where all the ghouls were and they were already pretty grouped together, so you didn't have to do it.
I didn't have to, but I think there was a part of me that was like, are there more?
No, we saw the whole building.
Yeah, no, we saw the whole building at this point, but I was still like,
it was one of those where again, like I wanted to just like tell you, like, dude, just fucking throw it at them. They're all next to it. But I was like, no, not gonna.
And
do
plus,
that.
instead of us just doing it on our own, it ended up getting the others involved.
And they made like little firing line, and I had lasers all propped up, fucking flying on the ceiling and shit.
And Lance fucking aced his stealth rolls to get up on top of the shelves. And then this is where another thing. Make sure you know what a goddamn stealth return is, or a surprise round, however you want to call it. We'll get to that in a second. But essentially, we made caused the distraction by shooting out one of the ceiling lights. It fell to the ground. I dropped a grenade and rolled off the other end. Fabian wanted so badly for me to get caught. F wanted so badly for me to get caught in that. I'm sorry, my tongue slipped. Don't worry about that. F wanted me so bad to get caught in that. I feel like, because he was like, oh, so you're gonna take damage from this. No, I rolled off the other end. Oh.
Yeah.
Like, he wanted so bad.
Yeah, and even then, in terms of like how actual like explosives work, you'd have felt the shockwave.
Yeah.
Maybe, but like, odds are, considering that you had two fairly solid structures fucking between you, you'd been probably fine. I mean, you might have got like a few splinters in your fucking armor.
Well, yeah. And it would depend on what like the backing of those shells was made out of and all that.
Which, I mean, these are Fallout shells. Fallout shells are pretty fucking beefy.
Yeah. But we end up dropping that on them. They take out a few. I just, because of where I ended up being, wasn't able to get around really in time to do much. But we take out the ghouls. We search the place, get the medical supplies that were in there, and go on about our business. Like, nothing really of note happened after that, I don't think.
Nothing there, but that's when we went on to go and save that hostage.
Yeah, so we went back to town, and when we go to take the medical supplies to the medical lady, there's a bunch of caravan guards in there who are injured. And they're like, "Hey, we got ambushed. We'll pay you after, but we need you to go. Can you guys go save our guy and get our stuff back, right?" And
So,
we're like,
I want that to be very clear. They have told us there's this fucking raider group, they have our supplies, and they have one of our members. So there's a hostage and there is gear. Just remember that. Continue.
So we go and we're like, all right, cool. We kind of get set up. We get a few modifications on our weapons, or get weapons just outright.
I bought a hunting rifle because I had a shotgun beforehand, and I did not want to keep being up close to people
Yeah.
because I was not a strong super mutant.
I think this is about when I got the lever action, and I figured out that I would be able to do like on a crit at one point 6d10 or something. No, it was 5d10 plus 2d4 on a 18. So I was already planning Lance to just be a goddamn cannon. And that would have been so much fun to have played him at a high level. But anyways, so we go and we find, we trace back the steps to this apartment building, right? And the way he described this.
Oh yeah, I know which part you're talking about now.
This is a lesson in how not to describe something.
So, Griffin, you're gonna have to help me with how exactly he described this, because I don't really remember.
So, you see, it's like an apartment building, and there's like a bunch of rubble. It's like a ramp that's leading up, and then on the other side there's like a little like front gate area, and that was basically it.
I was like, that's honestly like 1-to-1 with how he described it, and
That's
what's
genuinely quite accurate.
And you know what's funniest about that? I just
more detailed.
I just realized that is like essentially Puffin Forrest's fucking joking description voice and how he talks whenever he does joke descriptions when he's just bullshitting.
Well, so let's ask our audience member here, Joseph.
Yes.
If you had heard that description, I want you to describe in a little bit more detail exactly what you think that means, given your knowledge of Fallout and not your knowledge of what we told you it was.
So, I mean, personally, whenever you describe to me rubble leading up to a building and, a gate on the other side, so I'm thinking, okay, there's a gated door, but I'm thinking there's also rubble leading up to the building, possibly like a second or a third story that's easily, possibly climbable in like an opening to, go up and into. It's not going to be like fucking...
Oh, so it's...
against the laws of physics.
Oh! Let me clarify as well. I actually did miss a detail. He did specify that it was like an apartment building, so it's a big building.
Yeah,
I will say that like
that high.
Well, you know what exact question we should have asked Griffin?
Yeah.
Is this a Fallout 3 rubble pile or a Fallout 4 rubble pile? Because there's
Fallout 4 is about verticality.
But anyways, so the kind of the idea we had of going into this was A's character and Z's character being the more dexterity based out of the four of us, going up the pile of rubble.
Compared to the guy with the pole hook and heavy armor and the super mutant, we were not meant for the stealth mission.
Yeah, no. We're gonna wait for them to go up and pretty much tell if it was clear and then move up, right? And we're still thinking it's like second or third floor.
Yeah, which reasonable to think.
Yeah, reasonable to think if you're talking about a pile of rubble that goes up to an opening in the side of a building, right?
Yeah. And then they kept going.
No, what was even that they kept going? They get to the top.
No. And then they kept going, as in they didn't reach the fucking floor yet.
Well, yeah, no,
and then eventually we asked, how fucking high is the rope? And he said, oh, it's to the top of the building.
No, I could have sworn what happened was they were like, they got to the hole and we were like, okay, well then we yell, we say to them, hey, what do you see? And Hammy goes, oh, well, if you guys are staying at the bottom of the pile, then you're gonna have to yell that and alert them. What? He's like, yeah, it's like 18 stories up. Or it's like 18 floors up. And we're like, what? What?
Now, I have a question for F. If he is out there. Where did the rubble come from?
Yeah.
How did 18 stories of rubble just magically walk over to the side of this apartment building that had, only one area seemingly your description?
To be fair, from the description,
You know what I was picturing in my brain the entire time? Just a lone apartment building with nothing surrounding it.
Yeah, to be fair, that's what I was also thinking as well. But that's just because that was easier for me to visualize.
I mean, it's easier for you to visualize, but it's also like one of those things where it's like it's one thing to be like, oh hey, you know, this section of the city, you know, you're in a city, but we were never described to be as in a city really. Kind of the vibe I always got off of Midtown, and the fact that the maps that we always had were like completely barren roadside maps and shit. Like I'm thinking we're in the fucking Mojave when it came to density of building, right? Like,
Yeah.
this shit felt sparse and spaced out. So again, where did rubble come from?
No, it just came from the building. It just lost 18 stories worth of rubble that
To
made a solid, stable path right up to it, like a real big, wide one too, and it was somehow standing.
The building was the rubble, actually. The
So-
building wasn't.
Anyways,
The rubble was the friends we made along the way.
anyways, they go up top, and so me and George had the idea. Was like, hey, we can't really follow them. We're not stealthy, but we do have me as the tank of the party, and 2 guns essentially on our side. You
Yeah.
know,
And we have Lazarus and his little laser,
Mhm.
and we have explosives.
and we have
And
explosives.
I think it was specifically I think I mentioned to you like, hey, if they're going to be sneaking up in there, why don't we cause a distraction for
Yeah.
them and get easier for them to sneak around? Because
Because
if like
again-
half the fucking raiders are like, oh shit, we're being attacked from the front,
Mhm.
they're not going to fucking guard the side entrance.
Because again, but also again, shit fucked out of combat action economy.
Yeah, so we had like half an hour
Yeah.
to fucking think of this.
Well, it
and
wasn't
we
even
played
half an
a
hour
long
to think of that because we got to the front, and with one well placed grenade, we took out the ones at the front, right?
Yeah.
And then a few more come running out, and we just cut them down with gunfire.
Actually, no, I think it was a grenade and like a Molotov.
Yeah, a grenade and a Molotov just took out both groups pretty much, and the 2 that were stood up, we shot, and they were like, "Oh fuck," because then we went, "Well, let's buy time because now we need something else to take them out," and that's when George over here made them think that, oh, it's super mutants attacking us. Fuck, we gotta hole up now, right?
Which, you know, again, you know, for all the time we were spending not bothering really with paying too much attention to the fucking weird stealth room clearing that a fucking scientist and scout were doing. Fucking,
Yeah.
we were talking about like, okay, hey, what would make sense to do in this? And you know,
Well,
I
that's
fucking-
that's when we both pretty much, I think, had the idea.
Well, then I asked Fabian, can I find a bucket?
Well, no, that was
And
it.
you looked at me and you're like, what the fuck do you need a bucket for? And I looked at you and I said, we're gonna make a bomb.
No, it wasn't that. No, I think specifically it was. You said something about you were like, no, it was you said something about building a cannon with black powder, and then I went, wait, what if we filled a bucket with it? How big of an explosive do you think that was? And then you looked at Fabian and went, what?
That's the thing, because in the story, he used a bucket
Yeah.
to fucking build it.
So like you look at Fabian, like you and I both look at Fabian, you're like, Fabian, do we have a bucket out here? He's like, yeah, sure, whatever. He didn't think anything of it until we used, it was like 38 rounds or something like that.
I used all of like we used 32 ammo. That's what it was.
It was
We used
32.
all the 32 ammo we had because we had no use for that fucking caliber.
Yeah, no one
So
in our
our
party
bucket-
used them.
Yeah,
I
so
got
let's
rid of
just use
those.
all of it.
I stopped using a shotgun at that point. I had the lever action, so I used I used a few shotgun shells I had on me.
I had my hunting rifle, so I didn't want to use my shotgun either.
Yeah,
Fucking
he used
over.
his shotgun, put his shotgun shells in there. And we went so far as to sit there and find out how many grains of powder are in the average 32 round and 12 gauge shotgun shell to add up how much we had in this, right? And we came up with some number that's like 10 times the amount of your average World War II American hand grenade.
Which makes sense because, it's in a bucket
Yeah.
filled with pointy rocks and
Filled with
fucking just general crap.
filled with fucking rocks, the bullet casings themselves, the bullet heads themselves, the primers, everything went into the goddamn stew pot. So then I had the idea. I'm like, okay, well, we need, let's set it up as a trap. So we took all the dead raider bodies. Oh, we also took all the 32 ammo that the raider bodies had and put them in here as well.
All of the 32 ammo every ammo we could find that we were not using.
We put all the 32 ammo within a 100-foot radius in this goddamn bucket. So we keep going, and I'm like, all right, I know what we do. We lure them back out here, but we set up a fuse and have them have the opening of the bucket pointed at the opening, but concealed in a pile of dead bodies.
Now, let me say this. I think that was a stupid plan. We should have just thrown it in there because it took too long to figure out, and he kept trying to use it to stop the plan. But eventually, we got him to effectively concede to the fact that we were gonna get it done fucking one way or another.
This bucket was going to be used.
Fucking time with it, and as fucking Zod and A are up on the top floor, fucking touching their dicks or something. I genuinely don't remember what the fuck.
I think at this point they had found the hostages.
Oh, we'll get to that.
At this point, they had
not hostages. Hostage.
They had found the hostage, and they had found where the supplies are being held.
And then they hear.
They felt the entire place shake as a shockwave rolled over them from the pressure wave that went out from this explosion, because we threw it into the main room with a lit fucking fuse and a Molotov cocktail strapped to it.
Fabian, for F, he just sat there for a while, just sort of hung his head and just hemmed and hawed and said, "I don't even know. You know what? Fuck it. They're all dead.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all dead." Which, fair in the sense that it probably would be the fucking result, or they'd all be like so horrifically mangled that they could not fight anyways. But he wasn't doing it as in, that's the right thing to do situation. He was doing it as in, I don't want to try and fucking figure it out.
Yeah. And I will say this. As someone who, gets exasperated when people out hoodwink me as a DM, I never act, though, like, it's like, fuck it, I don't want to do it. I'm always like, what? Okay!
I don't know, dog. It didn't feel like that when fucking those ventilation shafts got a good crawling through.
That's a difference. That's me being a dumbass and being a shitty DM at the time.
Why couldn't I crawl through the ventilation shaft when I got put in jail?
Because you're a big goddamn zabrak.
My sister could.
It's not that big. I'm the big one.
You're both big.
I'm lean and I'm mean.
No, you don't get to say you're lean when after Genghis left, you took up the goddamn plow, okay?
Yeah, no, dog, he's lean. He's not building fucking bulk off of soy.
Yeah.
Anyways, I digress. So we use this fucking IED, this beautiful masterpiece of our goddamn demented minds, to clear out this thing. But it literally was a situation of like, you and I were riding high, right? After that, because we were like, because that's one of those situations where literally like our brains fucking clicked, and we just started bouncing shit off of each other, and each tier was just another thing that added in that we would have liked. So like the whole plan was just collaborative effort to the max. It was satisfying as hell to complete. And then we get to the end, and how F handled it, fuck.
We might as well say his name.
Yeah, we've done it 3 times now. Fabian is his first name. But how Fabian handled it.
You could have said it was his last name.
First name is less identifiable. But like the way Fabian like handled it and just described it, it was just like,
like kicked my dick in, man.
I mean, okay, realistically, I don't know if there really was any way he could have described it that would have been like as satisfying as it was to just do it.
Oh yeah.
But like, it was still a fun thing to do because it felt distinctly Fallout, and the idea of, we jury rigged something to fucking get a situation dealt with in a way that was not expected. And it made sense for our characters because George was going to end up being an explosives expert. That was
Yeah.
going to be like his big bread and butter for like combat and shit, the explosives and, fucking just making shit work. He has a robot, god damn it, that he's kept alive through scrap and shit. And
Lance,
someone like Lance, I mean, it's crafty enough and it's fucking indirect enough that it's like the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Plus, George was the only person that was mildly pleasant to be around with you.
Lance is not like Lance is also like Lance knows he's not the sole survivor or the lone wanderer or the courier. He is not ready to take on a full frontal assault of a raider camp. He's not. And he knew George wasn't either.
Oh yeah.
So he was like he knew this was like their best chance of clearing out as many as they could and either flushing them out or driving them deeper into the less defensible parts of the building. So it was just a moment of our characters actually doing shit that they would do, them being able to work off of each other.
Our real world knowledge fucking melding in a beautiful way.
It was just all great. But like I could
just
tell though through that whole like you and I bouncing back and forth off each other and getting like more and more excited each time. Like it was I think because like one big tip I always give to people who say they want a DM is, and I don't put this in the best way, I always explain a little bit more afterwards, and it's giving into the madness. And it's essentially that surrendering of, well, yes, you're the story crafter, and yes, you're the story maker, and yes, you get to kind of push everything the way you want it to go. You're never going to be able to accurately predict what your players are going to do. Not only that, you're not going to be able to accurately predict what's going to happen during a session.
I think a better way to put it is prepare for your preparations to be ruined.
Yeah, it also kind of goes into like another thing, just a philosophy I have for life in general. It's expect the best outcome, but prepare in case, but be ready to fail. Right?
Yeah.
Like have things in place in case shit goes south, so that you can you're not caught with your pants down. But don't prepare for failure. Don't sit there and be like, this is gonna fail. Be like, this is what I want, but just in case, right? But it's also the situation of like if your players get off on a tangent and are like all talking about something, or if two characters are going through something that has nothing to do with, or the player characters of the other people would not be able to see, hear, or interact with in any way whatsoever, except for maybe doing stuff on their own that might incidentally help them out. Like, it's okay if they're having a side convo. It doesn't. What's happening right now doesn't affect them.
No, especially if that side combo is entirely about what they are going to do when their turn comes up.
And I will be fair. Some of our side convos would just be about random shit.
Yeah, but I at least did my best to try and push those out and get it back on topic if we're continue.
But also in my defense, it was also that situation of I had gone like this was also after a big hiatus of this group playing D&D, so I hadn't been able to really
much of anything
together. So a lot of times I was coming back to Griffin and being like, I want to talk for a while before we get everything going. Like, because I don't know if we've made this clear. The three of us right here are all each other's best friend. We are each other's ride or dies. Right?
I don't know about that. I mean, I kind of hate both of you.
Yeah, same.
Look, I was trying to keep up appearances for the damn podcast. You guys just had to go.
Jacob, you're on your own.
This is all about the money.
Look, like I was trying to keep up the appearances for the podcast, but really, guys, really. But no, like
we're all joking when we say it's shit like that.
No, we're not.
Shut the fuck up. Like, we're literally each other's best friends. So when I see my best friend, who I haven't talked to in months, and all of a sudden we're doing shit, like, I want to talk to him. But, like, F would just get so, like, butthurt that Griffin and I were having a conversation. I'm like...
When nothing happening was involving us, and you were being slightly quieter at that time. So it wasn't even, like, fucking, like, big and fucking loud. But
I was actually talking in a hushed tone.
To be fair as well, though, you even addressed it, and you're like, yeah, I know, sorry, you explained it to him, you apologized, you're like, I'm going to do better about it, and you even mentioned that you were going to start trying to get there early, like an hour earlier, so which I told you was fine, and that way, we could just fucking talk, shoot the shit, and then when game time came, boom, we'd just be doing that.
It's sad to say that the one that, like, the session immediately after that was the death knell for the whole campaign, but, hey.
Well, no, that came after the fucking one shot you did.
Yeah. Anyways, so we clear out the rest, like the token resistance that was there or something like that, or just there was no one left, I think.
Yeah, no, we murdered everyone in that fucking hallway, and then we looted them for equipment to make the next bucket bomb.
Mm-hmm. And then we kept...
Do you know what it is?
What?
I know you don't really watch Critical Role, but it was basically our Fluffernutter, but significantly more successful than theirs ever was, which was literally a powder keg bomb that they kept trying to use.
There was we got to a point, we get up there with them, and so they release the hostage, and he's like, thank you guys, hey, is the way clear? And we're like, yeah, no, everyone's dead, like, all the raiders are gone, like, we'll get your shit back, we'll get the supplies and stuff back to Midtown, like, don't worry about it. And he goes, all right, cool, I'll see you guys later, and takes off.
Yeah. In fact, I think he even specifically said, all right, I'll make my way back. I think he even specifically fucking mentioned that, he was gonna go on ahead, that he knew the way, that he'd be fine.
Yeah, like, I'll be fine. Like, I think he even picked up a weapon and was like, yeah, I can, I should be able to make it. The critters get up on me and I'll be fine.
Like a lot of hostages do in fucking, games. They're just like, all right, yeah, so you cleared the way out? Yep, okay. I'll fucking see you later then. I can fucking sneak out of here.
Yeah. And he takes off.
And then G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe. Army Strong, as I like to call him.
No, Reserve Strong.
Reserve Strong, yeah, I know. He's a reservist.
Which is fine.
It's fine, but we had to give him shit about it because he's a reservist. And, like,
if you're a reservist and you act like you're a fucking Green Beret, you deserve a little bit of shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, okay, like, don't get me wrong, reservists do get in the shit. But it's like I say, it's like that joke I keep making. The Coast Guard gets called in before those reservists do. Oh. Which, yes, I know before I get, the hate mail on my Discord or whatever, yes, I know that's not actually true. The reservists do go into any combat zone first. I digress.
The point is, it was funny as fuck.
And the point is literally, I went the week after making those jokes, by the way, I was playing Airsoft with some military buddies I know. Like, not military buddies, as I was, in the military, but, like, guys who are in the military were my buddies. Making that distinction before someone's like, oh, you're in the service? Yeah, no, I'm not.
Stolen valor!
Stolen valor! Shut up. Like, I was talking about, like, I was like, okay, there's this shit that went on in the last D&D game. They're like, okay, well, let's hear about it. And I told him, I started making the jokes about Z being goddamn Army Strong. And, like, I say Army Strong is because he would play the goddamn, like, Army song from, like, the Army, National Guard recruitment commercials.
I would hum it, but I feel like I'd get copyright struck.
And, like, make these dumbass speeches. And, like, there's one thing if, like, a player's having
a side combo. Like, I can understand as a DM who just had to have the talk with my player this morning. Technically, this morning, again, I didn't sleep. About I was sitting in a VC with the cleric, and I was like, look, I've been cutting you slack, but in the future, if you ever say what's going on, I was watching videos again, there's gonna be a problem. And like I laid that out for him. Like there's one thing that like I get from that aspect of someone having a side convo. It's kind of like, hey, I put work into this, I want you to pay attention. Like I can understand that. Like of course, to a point.
If you're not going to pay attention,
Lie
don't
about it,
have
please.
it for that fucking reason. And if it is that reason, lie to me.
Lie to me, yeah. And like I can understand. Like he's like, oh, well, most of the times when I have it, it's music roll. I'm like, okay, yeah, no, I accidentally deleted all my SoundPad files, so I can't play the music I had, and I'm trying to find those again. So like I told him like I'll have music next time. Don't worry. But we're going through it, and like it's one of those situations. Like I can understand that, like having cyber combos. It's another thing though to derail multiple times the entire conversation or situation by standing up, blasting the National Guard recruitment song, and making these dumbass speeches about it, getting the, and it's like it'd be one thing if it's like everybody's having a laugh with it. It's one thing if it's a running joke in the campaign. It's another thing when it's happening every 2 minutes, and you and one other person at the table are the only ones laughing.
Yeah,
it's another thing when you hit that level, right? But I digress. So we get back to town. No, I forgot. Same reservist again. Yeah, reservist. We'll call him.
Yeah,
reservist.
no, don't forget the entire reason we mentioned this hostage.
Yeah. So he goes, I don't trust him. I tackle him. What?
And then everyone, including, Mr. DM, who is his best friend, which is the only reason he got away with all the fucking shit he did, quite frankly.
Yeah, I will be quite frank with that.
Fucking upset.
The only I will stand by this to this day. Like even if he came to me and said some other shit, I would still stand by this. That the true reason that he had shit out of combat action economy is because he favored them.
Yeah, no, I mean it is. It's not because he favored them; it's because he favored Z.
Yeah, he favored Z, and Aaron just sorry.
God, you fucking.
And
His
just
name's Alan.
Yeah, Alan. Just got kind of went along with it a lot of times, but still, it was such shit. Action economy.
So he tackles the guy.
Yeah, he tackles the guy.
We all near roll fucking initiative for him tackling the hostage we just fucking saved, and his reason. The only reason he could fucking even begin to like process to us was, well, why is he just leaving?
Because we rescued him, and now he's going back to his family. He's going back. Zod, he is going back to the little farm with all the other woodland creatures. Let him go.
Like literally fucking disgust in character. Yeah, we have everything cleared out. He's like, okay, cool. See you guys back in town. And then walked off. He's like, well, he was acting suspicious. No, F is just awkward at dialogue sometimes. And most of his characters sound awkward and suspicious.
Yeah.
That's just his voice acting. It is what it is. Like, you know this.
Oh, I gotta tell you guys about something about after this, because that reminded me of something. But we'll get through this real quick.
So then, I don't remember why, but we went to that little metro tunnel.
I think we got given a quest or something to go in there.
We had some reason to go in there. I don't recall what it was. I think, I think what it actually was. I think we had to go through.
Oh no! I remember now. It goes back to what Preston told us to do.
Did it?
Preston gave us a letter to deliver to the town whose name I forget, but for all intents and purposes, it's Arafu from fucking Fallout 3. So we go to this town after getting the caravan people back their shit. We then rest up for the night, and in the morning we headed out for this town with a letter from Preston at the general store for his family members. We get to the damn town, where we're greeted by an old man at a goddamn barricade with explosives laid out to keep people out, and he's the only one protecting it. And Griffin and I looked at each other.
We should have murdered.
We should have, because he shot Zod, I think. Either Zod or me.
No, I think he shot me.
Yeah, he shot you.
He shot multiple of us. He didn't. It wasn't like the fucking fuck, what was his name? Ethan, I think, is the guy's name in Arafu.
I don't remember.
Anyway, it wasn't like him where like, oh, just a little like explosion effect, and he's like, oh damn, sorry, I almost hit you there. It was fucking, he fires at you and it hits you and damages you. I don't have a lot of hit points.
Yeah, we're still level 1, I think, at this time.
I think we got into level 2.
Okay, level 2. But anyways, we get the survey, and I literally at this point, like I kept looking at Griffin, and Griffin's like, what? And I was like, it's Arafu. He goes, oh, and I'm just looking, I'm like, uh-huh. Oh, we go up to an old man holding a barricade on his own on this on-ramp to a freaking town. And Faber's like, what? What's so wrong about it? I'm like, it's literally just the Arafu mission. Complete with going into a metro zone. And like, okay. I'm bad at coming up with shit on the fly sometimes. Like, for the most part, I'm okay. I won't say I'm good, I'm okay. Right? Like, I don't think Griffin still, quite forgives me for naming, on the fly naming an NPC Harkon.
I don't.
So, I can't, I understand. But there's a difference between on the fly ripping something from another medium or IP or world or whatever and placing in your game, and having an established quest from session 1 be literally a reskin of another quest from something else.
Now, in his defense, I didn't give a fuck simply because I enjoy Fallout enough as a medium that I'm not going to complain about being able to do quests like ripped right from the game in the same way, as long as they are altered a little bit.
Yeah.
But he didn't really alter it at all.
Yeah. Again, you get a letter in the starting town from a NPC to go deliver to a family member. You're stopped outside of the town, and then you have to go to a metro station. Like, it's literally 1 for 1. And I mostly am as kind of salty as I am about it, more so from the view of I really wanted a lot of new shit out of this, right? And kind of I think it was honestly a situation where, like, so far we had kill bandits, kill a handful of ghouls, kill some more bandits. Cool. Arafu mission. Like, it was part of, like, I just hit a point where I was like, okay, I want something I haven't seen before. Which, again, is kind of me just being, like, greedy as a player, I guess.
I mean, it was his first time really trying to fucking do something like this.
And yeah.
That didn't, because another thing I mentioned is first time trying to do something like this that didn't include a lot of direct help from me. Because in his first campaign, he consulted with me for, like, a bunch of stuff, and, I helped him form a lot of fucking things for it. Not that much, to be fair. I made sure that he was doing the bulk of the fucking work for it, because, that way he would learn. But, this, he didn't consult me on very much. Yeah. So, he was left to his own devices, and he did fine in, like, at least the planning phase of it. It's more a case of, goddamn, if things didn't go as it was planned, he just fucking lost.
He
all
had
fucking
no
things.
backups for anything
Dude.
not happening the way he had it planned out to
He
be.
didn't even need backups. It was just like being able to roll with what was happening
Yeah.
and go like, okay, yeah, so then we'll fucking just boop boop boop. Yeah, all right, there we go. Now it'll work.
Yeah. But yeah, so we go to Discount Arafu, talk to the guy there, patch up our wounds from being shot multiple times by him. Go to this metro station, go into the first spot.
Evan King. That's what his name was, Evan King.
But we go to we get into like the first area where we get technical companions that again he didn't expect us to deal with the way we did, and it kind of fell apart. And okay, quick DM tips with the 3 DMs that are in this chat. If your players do something unexpected with something you've given them, don't immediately then do everything in your power to take said thing away.
I say let that shit happen because that shit's usually fun.
Yeah, like, because in this situation, we booted up and successfully bypassed 2, I think it was, Protectrons. The standard subway models, right? We have a robotics expert on our team.
Yeah.
So we set them up so that they'll fight for us, right?
Well, that was just the first part of the plan. Then there was the second part of the plan.
Yeah.
That's what he had the problem with.
Yeah. So we eventually go through. We find I think it was like an assault rifle, a bit more medium armor, so on, like a few other things.
Which was good because I had no armor from the very beginning, and I needed it desperately.
And we get down to the spot, and we have this little combat with some guys, where the Protectrons fucking did work. One of them goes down, and the other one gets critically injured. He was like, "Oh, well, it's critically injured. It's critically damaged now. It's not gonna, it can't really fight anymore." So we go, "All right. Well, George, see what you can do with this." So we rig it with explosives.
Because I used the precedent that we have from, the most recent, in timeline fucking canon Fallout game of Fallout 4. And to be fair, it also happened in Fallout 76, but most recent in timeline. In which, you shoot the legs out from a Protectron, that fucker's gonna crawl for you and explode.
It's damn terrifying.
So this thing is fucking still moving around. Fucking let me repair enough to where it can fucking walk again. Let me put some explosives in it. Let me, fiddle with it a bit in ways that would not be terribly fucking complicated, especially not for the checks I was making. And boom, we had a walking bomb now.
Yeah.
And we did all we could to protect said walking bomb as we walked through this metroway that again was also not described terribly well.
It was not.
Because we thought we had fucking explored the entire thing after 2 rooms because again he didn't, because he had the map drawn out but it didn't clearly signify where different areas and levels were. It just sort of fucking ended.
And this is okay, and also then we're about to get to literally the most egregious case of the action, the problem with the out of combat action economies that we had with him. So we go down essentially to the track area of the metro, and you guys all, most people know, who've played the Fallout games kind of know what we're talking about. And Zod and A's character just start booking it without their tank.
Well, specifically speaking, all right, they were asked what they wanted to do, and they said what they wanted to do, and then they kept describing what they were doing.
And every time, I was trying to be okay, well, I'm also no. It was okay, no, wait a second. Okay, well, can I do something? No, wait a second. Okay, they've gotten through 2 rooms, have encountered a locked door, and a generator. Can I now be up there to say something to them? No, wait a second. Like, literally, it was the situation that, like, at one point, I turned away, I'd look back, I thought it was only gone for, like, a second, 30 minutes had gone by, I was still at the entrance of this little map that we had drawn up, and they were literally bashing apart a fucking generator in order to get a door open.
Mm-hmm. And, oh, Jacob, do you remember what that door even held?
Nothing.
No.
Well, okay.
There was something.
There are ghouls.
There was something behind it.
There.
Not any ghouls. There was a glowing one.
Yeah. There's a goddamn glowing one back there. And as he opened it, that's where we ended the session. That's where the whole campaign ended, as far as I know.
Yeah. Well, no, other than when they did it again without us and did their very foul way of just severing all communication.
Yeah. So we did have one other thing that we did with them, which was a one shot that I had brewing for a while,
Which, in my opinion, went very well.
Yeah.
On all accounts.
Like I kind of had stuff paced out a little wrong, but it's also just because I'm a sucker for the role play aspect of it. Like, as much as I enjoy, like, when it comes to being a DM, I love the role play aspect a lot more than I do the combat. But when I'm a player, I like the combat a lot more than I do the role play aspect. I think it's just that situation of when you're the DM, you have to run a lot more shit and it's a lot more hectic. But I digress. So, do you want me to run through the one shot?
We'll save that for another time.
Another time? I really want to go through it though.
Because fucking Joe's had nothing to say for like the past hour.
Sorry, Joe.
So bad.
Listening.
Okay, real quick. This is something that all three of us can talk about real quick. All right. This was some heterum tier shit. I hate to say it about the guy, but this shit I'm about to talk about is some heterum tier shit.
No, it is not.
So, I you know, me being me, I took Seamus and implanted him as an NPC in my online campaign, right?
Oh, that.
So, I have a plot with him that he's going to be, like, essentially, they already know, have put two and two together at this point, but he's going to be taking actions kind of against the party. Kind of, you know, might be included in the primary stuff, might not. I don't know. We don't know yet. But essentially, the warlock, right, woke up to the stuff in his bag having been rummaged through, and stuff kind of being strewn about, right? And he rolled high on his investigations and everything to, you know, looking at the bag. And I said, okay, well, there's, you know, from what you can tell, very small and draconic, like, very much draconic looking claw marks and teeth marks in this, but, like, really tiny. And he immediately goes, and, you know, to what he had known at the time, you know, a logical conclusion, he goes, oh, did the fucking kobolds go through my shit? Like, cause they know at this point that they did take care of the kobolds and there's more down there. So they're like, well, shit. Quick context: there's kobolds in the sewers that they didn't take care of that they should have, and it's gonna come back to bite them in the ass essentially. But they go. He's like, oh shit, the kobolds, you know, are fucking with my shit. So he goes, he tells everybody that. They all go downstairs though, and they see this guy, kind of standing out against the usual clientele of this tavern. He's a little bit better equipped than most people who come through here, and he has a small, tiny dragon creature on his shoulder, right? So, I don't remember exactly how the conversation went down. But the warlock walks over to him and goes, hey. Seamus looks up at him and goes, hi.
He's like, "Hi, my name's Aaron." So Erron. My name's Aaron. What's your name? And he holds his hand out, and Seamus takes his hand and shakes it, just cheery, being nice to him. The name's Seamus. He's like, "Oh, okay, oh, cool. That's a you have an interesting pet there." And I play up the whole thing of pseudo dragons not being called pets, and hisses at him and nips at his finger. He's like, "Oh, don't call him a pet, yada yada." And he's like, "Okay. Well, nice talking to you," and then just walks over and sits down with the rest of the party. Nothing gained from the conversation. No insight checks were rolled. No questions asked. Nothing.
So they didn't even suspect him?
No, they suspected him. That's why they went up to him.
Oh, okay.
But he just didn't ask him any questions. He literally just asked him his name and asked him a bit about sneaks. That was it.
That's just Oblivion dialogue with extra steps.
That's exactly what it was. To which the rogue, who IRL is the warlock's sister, goes, "What the hell was that?" And she sits down, and I was gonna make a joke of when she starts asking him, "Oh, what's your name? Where are you from? How long have you been in town? Are you from this area, or did you come in one of the caravans?" Starts asking general information, and I was gonna make a joke of "Ma'am, I have a wife." I was gonna make one of those jokes, but I didn't. I restrained myself. But then again, it's
What do you mean? Those jokes are great. like when I had a vampire hit on Ragwar, except it was a male one that he already didn't like.
I was going to make that joke, but I was I just didn't. But I did at least give them something with that. Because, she just kept talking and didn't really ask him anything specific. We're just mostly "Oh, hey, do you know the area well? We're heading out and kind of needed a guide. What's the outside been like? Outside of the town been like, and all that stuff." And the only thing I gave him that was "Hey, this dude definitely is the one who, was fucking with your shit." Is, I was okay, as you walk away, roll me a perception check real quick. And she rolled an 18 or 19 or something. I was okay, yeah, you definitely notice that his hand now relaxes, Sneak relaxes, and he moves his hand away from the dagger that was on his belt. That's the only thing they claimed is all we know now about Seamus is he's doing something with them. That's it. 10 minutes of talking, and that was about it.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of parties do that, especially if they're in a situation where, if you don't prime them at all in, an obvious way that they might want to dig deeper, or, as I found out, if, they're, in a hurry, in character,
Yeah.
to fucking get somewhere, they will just ignore shit that otherwise they might have really fucking investigated. So if you're trying to get them to investigate something, you have to have very specific circumstances.
Yeah, I guess those situations where, yes, it was the morning of them having to go out and meet with the town guard and the caravan they were going to be, escorting. So they were on a timetable. There was that aspect. And yeah, I didn't really give them much past, "He's been fucking with your stuff." So that is partially on me. But it's also true, if you're going to go through the process of, trying to talk to a character to glean any information, a little bit more than just, general information about his life is, something I'd be "Hey, look."
So, Joseph.
Yes.
How did you feel your session 0 went? Give us the nitty-gritty details. How many times did you want to strike me, Keontae, and Jacob?
I'll be honest. I thought it actually went pretty well. If
What
anything,
did
the only
you felt to cry when you said, "I'll be honest."
no, I was stretching.
I'll be honest, man. I don't have much faith at this point.
No, I'm.
That shit
I'm still
broke me.
really- I'm still really excited for the future.
Sneaks
And-
fucking died in one hit. I don't know what to know anymore.
I'll be there. There were a lot of moments that I will get to that I was not expecting. But I rolled with it, and I thought it was actually, if anything, 10 times fucking cooler. But so basically, as I have not stated in a while. Well, I've stated before, but I haven't like expanded. I'm doing a campaign now, and we have decided that Seamus and Durgam will indeed be coming back due to
I
the fact.
was effectively bullied into being Durgam.
He
though,
really
but-
was, because it's one of those situations. If he's like, "Oh, I want to kind of be something," I was like, "No, play Durgam. It'll be great." Because at this situation, at this point, the party composition is a paladin, a war
warlock.
cleric, a warlock, who's an Asimar and is doing like Celestial Pact?
Yeah, Celestial Pact.
Celestial Pact warlock, and then Seamus, who's a ranger but has strong ties to Bahamut. So you have who is a religious devotee of Bahamut, more specifically. So you have going to have four different ideologies in one thing, and Griffin's like, "Oh, I can do a fight." I'm like, no. It has to be a cleric.
Just think of how all the religious talk is going to go between you guys if you ever talk about your own like beliefs.
I'm going to get scared and I'm going to run away and hide until it stops.
I mean, at this point, it's going to be possibly Durgam and Seamus having a few talks here and there. Maybe Nikki's character, and possibly Keontae just saying that our gods are false.
I really hope. If anything, I will be honest. Keontae acted ways yesterday that seemed like maybe it will be hopefully good if he stays like that. For example, he was more helpful to you guys.
I don't know. His first action was to hide.
Yeah. Okay. So real quick,
I
people.
understand that.
Real quick, people. We have so Keontae, who is now our paladin, aka you may know him more aptly as Giorno Giovanna from Griffin's campaign. Rolled up a paladin for this one. A glass cannon paladin, doesn't have a lot of health. Doesn't have has a decent AC so far, an okay AC. But he's gearing up to just be a damage dealer. Like, he has like max strength right now, I think. He has a 20 strength at level 1. So he's got a +5 from his strength bonus to hit with his maul and to his damage on everything right now. Because his starting equipment was a maul and a trident for the two martial weapons, and then he took 5 javelins. So we effectively have 6 throwing weapons. And when we get into mock combat, his first goddamn choice is to hide in the tent in the middle and be sneaky.
Yeah, which is, again, I would like to say that Keontae had also said that, he was going to change how he was going to play in this campaign. And I was like, okay, that's good. If anything, to me, that is the best news that I could ever hear from Keontae Wellens. Because I can't believe I just said his fucking full name on stream. Okay. But basically,
He's gonna be a guest anyways. It'll be fine.
yeah, he'll be a guest. But because of his recent playstyle, so it's like, you know what, Keontae, I fully support this. This is amazing. This is great. Maybe I won't need to worry about him after all. And first action he does, fucking hides. Tries to roar.
To be fair,
Scared.
with how he does things, it makes the most sense for him to be like a fucking barbarian or a fighter and just run in and hit shit. So
Yeah.
Paladin, it's cool. But
I welcome that.
he has no defense.
I know. But
And-
so, go ahead.
So that's the reason why I didn't want to play Durgam, was because Durgam was a war cleric. And he was going to cross-class a little bit into fighters. So, we already kind of had that role in a way filled with a paladin. And the real thing I wanted to do is I wanted to have someone that could fit whatever we really needed. The problem was we didn't have like a need for something. We just had kind of boo-boo ass stats across the board. So
Yeah, none of us rolled exceptional at all on these stats.
So
Yeah.
it was either I keep Durgam, who fucking, when I rolled his stats at our fucking original sessions here, were juiced as shit, or I fucking try and make a fucking tank and just hope like hell that I don't roll like they fucking did.
Like for reference of just how shit we rolled, I rolled originally 4 12s, a 10, and an 11.
You would have genuinely been better with standard array.
I would have genuinely been better. The only saving grace is Joe allowed me to re-roll one of them, and I got a 15.
The only problem though is you only have a fucking +4 to hit.
Yeah. But that's okay.
Like literally, I can't tell you how many times doing those rolls I would see like a 5 and a 6. No, like a 5 and a 4. I'm like, okay, and then a 2 and a 1.
But
rolls were not good to you guys. But
how was Nikki's? Because I didn't really get a good look at them.
Nikki actually got pretty decent rolls. I've got her stats right here. She has a 10, 14, 11. Oh no, yeah. 10, 14, 11, 14, 16, 17.
They're not horrible.
Yeah, that's that. Goddamn, if we all fucking had that, I might not have had to play Durgam.
It's fairly balanced. She has the good scores where it matters, and the bad ones where it's not really something she especially needs to worry about given her class.
Huh.
But you know, so you guys didn't have the greatest rolls, and you know, Keontae's back to where that was. So Keontae's turning over a new leaf, and I'm like, okay, great. You know, as we said, Keontae's first move, hiding an attempt. Okay, a little bit weird, and then he kind of devolved, and he was like, you know what? I'm gonna roar. I'm gonna pretend to roar so I can scare the bandits away.
Meanwhile, okay, real quick, setup for the spot combat that we were in is that we were in like a gladiatorial pit.
Yeah, we were in a. You guys were in a gladiator arena, pretty much. There wasn't really much backstory for it, because I was like, okay, just tossing it fucking together, just for session 0 combat practice. But, this was if anything, this will actually kind of segue into the first thing that I was kind of like, dang, that's a bummer for, but I went with it, because I was like, you know what, you guys actually thought of it, that's pretty fucking cool, I'll let it happen. Initially, all the enemies were pretty much going to come out of those grates on the floor, but...
We couldn't have any of that shit now, could we?
Yeah. Right off the bat, you guys just completely covered that shit. And I was like, damn, that fucking sucks, because that's how I wanted to have at least, you know, dispersion around cover and stuff like that. So, pretty lame. But, you know, it's okay.
See, what's interesting is when I was doing that, I initially did it because my first thought was, oh, I bet something's gonna like come out of like a fucking gas or some bullshit like that. I didn't think it was gonna be really fucking people.
I was thinking spikes.
Even if it was, my thought was, okay, we'll put this over them so like they won't be able to get through. Not it'll open up and they'll all get crushed. Not we just made fucking tomato paste out of them.
because I was thinking like, okay, I didn't think you guys were thinking about gas wise, because it was either you or it was Keontae that put a bench over one of them, so that would not have stopped the gas.
Well, I mean, my idea was like we would have fucking turned it over.
Yeah. But either way, so
how many yards wide were those holes?
Were crushed by whatever contents were in those crates, which were just really heavy wise. I never specified what was in them, but they were heavy enough crates. I was like, oh, okay, you know what? You guys thought to do this. I'm going to at least award you with, you know, them coming out of somewhere more obvious, and then them actually like losing a couple in numbers.
Which is a smart thing to do as a DM, and I appreciate that you did that.
I will say, I did figure out. I will say in this mock combat, I actually figured out how to use sneaks in combat.
Yeah, it was a learning experience a little bit.
Don't lie. He's still gonna die in like 3 sessions.
Maybe. It depends on what level we're at that point.
If he dies by level 3, you'll be sending the spirit of Sneaks out as a Drake. And then it'll really make sense.
Please no.
But anyways.
You not even had him for a session, Jacob.
So I believe
I thought his AC was higher than goddamn 13.
I hate you.
There's a reason he's a 1/4 CR monster.
But I believe I sent you guys, what, 3 bandits?
4.
4.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, 4.
It's 2 melee and 2 ranged.
2 melee, 2 ranged. You killed all of them but one, which then began to just fucking pound on the fucking portcullis, pretty much trying to get let back out, and you fucking just decided, no, have that.
Not fucking today, and Sneaks ripped out his goddamn jugular like a good boy.
Yeah. You embrace the energy of the arena itself. The crowd applauds.
I fucking Gallaghered someone against a wall.
This man ran up, fucking, just one-handed a warhammer, and just into the chest, into the wall.
Yeah, that was fucking disturbing. Like, you guys were wearing more than 90% of their body mass.
Okay, at least we should clarify, every time fucking Keontae killed someone, he would roar. And he would say it, and then I would have to fucking roar for him. Which, let me tell you, is not pleasant on the throat.
I'm honestly okay with Keontae fighting the way he does if he goes like Oath of Vengeance.
Yeah, but like if he's like, oh, I'm gonna go Oath of Redemption and then starts killing people, we're gonna have a chat about how oaths work.
We are.
You guys make it through the first round, and then round 2 happens, and the portcullis, you get some time to prepare again. The portcullis doors open up, and nothing comes out.
That's where Joe fails to do this encounter, kind of. Partially.
What?
This is where Joe partially fails to do the properly run the encounter, but we'll get to that.
I tried my best, given that I was like, okay, you know what, let's shake it up a little.
Oh no, the only thing is you didn't consider the problems with trying to describe invisible enemies.
I know, and I didn't realize it. Look, I'm gonna be honest. Originally, I was just going for regular, like, invisible people. But then you guys made a joke about invisible gnomes, so I was like, you know what? That's fucking funny. It's not like the combat matters. Let's just do it.
So what happened was I had posted up by one of the doors because we noticed that they came out doors other times.
Real quick, Griffin. What did we decide on the name of the stream being?
Let's just call it regret.
I'm calling it regerts because that's how dumb this shit was.
Okay. So I'm fucking, I'm up beside it, I'm waiting to just hammer the fuck out of whoever comes out. And if I remember correctly, I two-handed my hammer as well, because I was gonna I was gonna try and just destroy this motherfucker. And I swing and I miss. And I said in character, oh shit, they must be gnomes. Because I swung at fucking like human height and didn't hit me.
I fucking remember this.
And you just looked at me, you're like, And then you described me getting stabbed in like the fucking leg. I was like, oh god, they are gnomes. And then someone killed one of them, and it was like a little fucking gnome, and I fucking like stood up at the table and pointed at you like, you son of a bitch.
It was so fucking funny. And just that whole entire combat encounter, that was probably my favorite. Actually, no, the ogre one was still my favorite. But then not only was there that, you guys ended up. Did I throw 3 or 4 then too? I think I threw 3 that time.
3.
Yeah, it was. Had one of them come out each of the portcullis doors. Yeah. But, anyways, you guys. The one gets fucking clobbered. I don't remember who clobbered it though. I want to say it was Durgam.
I don't remember.
Yeah, you killed the one at the portcullis that opened near you. Then I was trying to shoot the one that got out of the northern portcullis, and I don't even know what the fuck Rodan was doing. Yeah.
You hit the one so damn hard that like it just turned into a mist.
Oh no, that's right. No. No, remember? This is the one that he fucking
crushed through the goddamn hole in the portcullis.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He turned it into a
Tom
cube.
and Jerry him.
Tom and Jerry, this motherfucker.
You just
Mother
slammed him.
trucker, dude. That hurt like a butt cheek on a stick. Sorry.
And then the other gnome got attacked by Chiante, but it was only after he had flashed.
I think you mean
Chiante.
Ghidorah.
Rodan.
Rodan Ghidorah attacked a gnome, and the gnome kind of retreated a little bit.
Real quick, and I quote the reasoning for having the name Ghidorah. Well, I'm a dragon person, right? Well, I'm a dragon, right? We use the name Ghidorah.
Yeah.
He's
And then
talking
another
about,
gnome had come up
Dragonborn.
behind Rodan Ghidorah and had slashed him, and he had been the first down. That's when Durgan came over and healed him, assisted him, and one of the gnomes threw caltrops right in front of you guys so you couldn't get any closer to him.
Oh no! Don't forget when I fucking shattered a barrel to try and fucking
Oh yeah,
send out some AOE splinters.
I forgot about that shit. Yeah, you hit a barrel so hard that that's why he retreated initially, because you hit the barrel so damn hard that you just saw these little splinters of wood sticking up in the middle of the air and just blood pouring out of something, and you heard a little and he just fucking ran.
Also, don't forget Rodan trying his damnedest to use his ice breath on everything.
Oh yeah.
Which
and
eventually
then
he grabbed one by the face, blew ice breath at it, and then I missed with an arrow.
Yeah, he blew ice breath at it, and that dude was just really fucking cold. That was pretty much
He
it.
rolled so low on his damage, and the guy made a save.
Yeah, he was just a little chilly. And then he finally did kill the one because he threw his javelin at it so damn hard that it went back 10 feet, I believe, with just the fucking javelin just sticking out of his fucking torso. Homie was gonked. And then I believe the last gnome. Yeah.
Don't gloss over that. Just like I'm not gonna gloss over the druid in my campaign fisting a man.
He also tried to piss on me as he was
Yeah.
pissing.
He tried to. Our dragonborn paladin decides to piss on a dead body.
Yeah, and I had him roll strength and dexterity, and he got good enough with strength to get that far, but dexterity-wise, he kind of just got all over the place. He didn't really have the greatest aim on him.
And if I remember correctly, your ruling was that we knew where the other gnome was because of the flecks of piss and the blood coming out of him.
Yes, that was correct. And that was how he got finished off.
Because I just ran up, said, "Fuck you."
Yeah. And then
having that shit.
I literally had a moment of this shit's not working. That shit being my longbow. This shit might work.
And then the final encounter had you guys getting knocked out by some sort of gas entering through the vents. And when you guys came to, about a couple minutes later, the janitors of the arena janitors, trademark patent pending, had cleaned up the mess, and everything had been moved again. And right when you guys woke up, the bell had tolled, and you had 2 bandits come out. And then out of the portcullis gate across from you guys, it got smashed open practically, and there was a bound ogre that came shambling on out of it. I know Sneaks, you and Sneaks fucked up the one bandit, dude.
We 1v1'd one of the guys.
Yeah.
You say fucked up, but it took fucking 3 rounds.
Yeah, just my rules. But there was at one point Sneaks almost died, where because essentially how I figured to play Sneaks for right now is that he's essentially gonna function as a third attack for me because I took crossbow expert, so I can strike with my melee weapon right now being a dagger, fire off a shot with my hand crossbow that I talked over with Joe to get,
and then Sneaks will, on his initiative, strike out with either a bite attack or a tail attack, and deal a little bit extra damage. And it's essentially it is literally just me getting another dagger hit in, really, because of the stats of the stats of a pseudo dragon. It's literally the same as my stats almost, like with a difference in, I want to say, Constitution. Other than that, our stats are literally the same. So it's again a +4 to hit with a +4 to damage. So it's literally just another dagger attack. And that's how I was playing him. He got a good hit in on him, and then Joe again was like, okay, well he's gonna shoot him now within 5 feet.
But he did roll at disadvantage.
He rolled at disadvantage and then critted on Sneaks, which by the way has 7 HP. 7 HP, and somehow survived the crit. Didn't really matter though, because after that, Sneaks jumped on the man and tore out his jugular.
Yeah.
Okay, Giorno's backstory.
And then he jumped back onto me, and then we engaged the ogre. But the real star of the show was Durgam.
Fucking trying to get himself killed.
Durgam, would you like to explain how you single-handedly 1v1'd an ogre that I was expecting to be a 3-party takedown?
Real quick.
You to fight it?
Durgam, would you like to talk about how Durgam took down the ogre? Well, yes, Durgam, I would love to do that.
So, if I remember correctly, as we started it, we had one bandit like immediately get up to me and the Riders of Rohir.
Yep.
And we killed him.
The Riders of Rodan.
And I basically said, all right, I'm going to take that fucker on. God damn it. I'm going to protect the fucking party. And I had my shield up, my shield of faith, and I had my regular shield, and I fucking ran up to him. In the first round, I did my 2 attacks because I'm a war cleric. So I have my regular attack, and then I can use my bonus action to attack again for a use of my war priest ability, which that was my last one I used on that. And I dealt decent damage. I think it was maybe like 15 in all or something like that. I didn't roll great on it. Hit both attacks. And then he fucking clobbered me and fucking knocked me down in one hit. Because to be fair, I was already like low-ish health when I went into this. I did not have much. So I was really relying on my 20 AC at that point. But he broke through it. And because I'm a half-orc, I use Relentless Endurance. So I didn't go down. But I did fail the check to keep my Shield of Faith. So I don't have my Shield of Faith. I'm sitting there. I'm with this guy. I know that if he hits me again, I'm gonna go down. Simple as that. I don't have any fucking spells left. I can't do anything else but attack it. So I say, fuck it. And I go all in. I toss my shield down. I two-hand my Warhammer. And because we discussed this earlier, it was determined that for the purposes of the feat Great Weapon Master, I could use it with my Warhammer so long as I was two-handing it. Which I did. So I two-handed it, and we start with feats at level 1. Two-handed it, and I said, fuck it, I'm gonna go in, Great Weapon Mastered. And I think I was like, I hit maybe fucking beforehand, I had just hit like 1 or like 2 above the AC on it. So I was like, okay, fuck, so it's low AC, so I should be able to hit it. And I rolled. I got a natural fucking 20. And after almost pissing myself, because I was thinking in my head at that very time, yo, what if I got a fucking nat 20 right here and just fucking dealt so much damage?
Wasn't that the whole give me your energy point?
Yes, I was like, yo, give me your fucking energy. I wanted to amass a spirit bomb so I could fucking increase my odds for a natural 20, which worked, god damn it. And we normally use a crit chart. But for this, I was like, no. The crit chart can fuck me. I don't want to use it. And I just doubled the dice I rolled. So, because I'm a half-orc, I get an extra D6 on crits. And I was two-handing a Warhammer, so that's a D10. And I get the plus 10 from Great Weapon Master, and I get plus 5 for my strength. I rolled a 10, I rolled a 6, and I rolled a 6. I dealt 38 points of bludgeoning damage in one fucking strike after I had almost died, after I defied death.
Yeah.
And this fucker lived with 3 goddamn hit points.
3.
And by the grace of Joe alone, missed his next attack with my piddly 16 AC.
Me again.
He literally, even with his like bonus, he was 1 below it. He just missed you.
And then Seamus, the dickhead he is, went up and shot him in the back of the head with his crossbow.
No, on the back. I
And
approached him from the
fucking-
front.
Oh, that's right, because you weren't smart enough to get advantage on it. You just fucking walked up to him, shot him, and then when you killed him, you raised your arms in victory, you fuck.
Okay, at least I wasn't the one that said I decapitate him and parade his head around.
That was fucked up too.
That was just sadistic.
Oh,
And
just
the man's going oath of vengeance. He does not have a choice at this point. He's going oath of vengeance.
Or conquest.
Conquest as well. I forgot about that as an option. But then again, I'm very tired right now, so.
But then from there, you guys pretty much got your rounds of applause, and the man who looked like Joaquin Phoenix from The Gladiator gave you a nice thumbs up.
If I remember correctly,
I was at 6 fucking health, so I was basically like, all right, if we have to fucking do any more fighting, I'm just going to die.
I believe this is also at the point though where I was like, I think this is at the point where you said, and I quote, "The whole crowd begins pissing."
Yeah.
And we drowned in the piss.
Yeah, because the last roar that I fucking did for Rodan.
That
Yeah,
scared them enough. They started
intimidated them.
pissing, and the entire stadium flooded with piss. And the grates were blocked up, so we drowned.
Yeah. But
The canonical death of Seamus.
apart from that dream sequence and reminding you of the machinations of giant demon head Yerg and his minions, you guys get your stuff, and they're like, all right, you know what, you've competed fair and square, you proved your worth, go on, get out of here, scamps, go have some fun. And so you guys go and have some fun, and you see you're kind of in a very desert looking area, very, very few trees. It's mainly rock and sand, but you notice a canyon seemingly, and pretty much you go down into
But
the
like-
canyon. Yes.
Letty, wasn't it rock and stone?
Shut up. But you go down into the canyon, and you notice for some reason it seems like there's more plant life and animals here than what there was outside of the canyon, and that things are growing a lot more, and you see like these glowy bright purple mushrooms in a way, which are very odd and very foreign to a desert, if anything. And as you look around, you notice an opening, but you do not notice the people that come behind you and put hoods over you and then knock you out.
So, I have some general questions, actually. Because the one big thing about this is that Joe's girlfriend is joining us as a very, very new player. When we left and she eventually got there, how did going over everything fucking go?
I got to go over some of it with her. From what she had said, she understands, and she's already started to work on like a backstory and like character stuff.
Oh, good.
So as far as I know, her character's name is Eden, and from what I remember from what she described, she has like blonde hair. She actually is not very edgy from what I was expecting, honestly. She's actually wearing like white regal like kind of clothing in a way.
I mean, if you're gonna be an Asimar and you try and be an edgy Asimar, then I mean, why are you playing an Asimar? Just go ahead and be a fucking tiefling at that goddamn point.
Yeah. And so it's very nice to see. But she seems to have an understanding. And next time that she comes over, I'm gonna end up actually making sure that she still remembers and kind of just, I might run her through a combat encounter possibly.
Just fucking give her some just give her some
No.
NPCs.
Give her some regular, like 4 hit point people, maybe 1 hit point.
This is a warlock we're talking about. She'll probably get killed. she can only attack once.
It's the only bad thing about trying to do it with just her is because, yeah, she cannot do much.
Oh, that's the thing. You just fucking you have Durgam's fucking character sheet. Just fucking throw him in there.
That is true, and I also do have Rodan's character sheet here.
Yeah, exactly. There you got 2. You have a tank for her.
Yeah,
and a dragonborn.
Yeah, so things should work if I do try it, but yeah, I'm not sure if Chiante has seen, because Chiante has not responded. I'm sure you guys have seen it Discord wise though, but like I told everyone else, this Saturday coming up, I would like to have backstory at least.
Yeah.
So that it's not like I have to wait so long to where we kind of have to go over stuff again from session 0. I would very much like to not do that. And also because then it gives me some time to think and plan about how specifically I would like session 1 to go down. I've got a good idea. Like I've got most of it actually like planned, but I also was like waiting on certain parts to like see what you guys play, so I don't just be like, oh, here's this, and you guys just fucking die 5 minutes in. Goodbye.
Well, just be glad knowing you have to now juggle 4 fucking religions.
I know, right? It's gonna be so much fun. My only worry is that Chiante is gonna forget his religion, and that Nikki being new is gonna end up doing the same. But I have a feeling that Chiante is definitely going to forget where he gets his power from.
He's gonna walk into one of his fucking temples and start fucking beseeching the name of Crom, and you're just gonna fucking look at him like he's fucking high.
$10 says I will offer $10 if he comes to me with a backstory and says that he was born with this power.
See, you wanna know what make that even worse?
What?
Level 1 paladins don't have any powers. Like they really don't.
Yeah, like I said, that all stuff like comes from like their fucking oaths and shit like that, and he doesn't have that yet. So I'd be really confused if he was like, "Oh, I have power, but it's gone now, and I don't get it back for some time."
Yeah, like all these are like a level 1 fighter is like significantly stronger than a fucking level 1 paladin. They have lay on hands, and that's basically it for stuff that they can do.
Yeah. If anything, the most I'm expecting from him is that he did something bad, and his god put him in timeout for a couple days until he thinks about his actions and gets his power back.
What are the odds that he kills his parents in this backstory as well?
Hi.
Oh god, does he even know what god he's gonna worship? Jacob, did you ever actually end up running him through the fucking subclasses like I kindly asked you to multiple times?
Jacob?
I'm gonna take that as a no.
What? Hold up, sorry.
Are you
were you watching videos?
No.
Brain zoned out. Brain turned off for a bit there.
Weren't we just talking about this at the start of this podcast?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, what was the question? I'm sorry.
Did you ever actually end up talking with Chiante about the subclasses?
No, I did not get the chance to.
God, I think you had multiple chances while you were picking out your fucking equipment, you brick. God damn it.
Yeah. But,
I'm
anyways.
interested to get see if my backstory ever pops up though.
Sorry, that was kind of coming out and I had to let it go. But I'm hoping that this goes well, you know, considering that I think I've got definitely a better grasp and a better head on my shoulders than I did the first campaign, and even though that one wasn't terrible or bad, like
Okay now. Okay now.
no, because you and Griffin even said that it was actually pretty decent.
Yeah, he
And
did fine.
for like a first try, it was
No,
not bad at all.
I'm saying he did fine. The campaign
Oh.
as a whole.
I'm
Yeah,
not gonna flatten the campaign because there was a single person in there that just did not fucking care, and there was one that was a retard, and there was another that just tried to kill the retard.
And that's one of the reasons that I also told you guys, tone-wise, this is a little bit more serious, because I know that if I don't tell Keontae this, and I end up doing something rash because Keontae keeps pestering me about something and ends up getting himself killed, I have something to fall back on. I'm like, well, I told you it was more serious. I told you they're not going to take kindly to you trying to hit on their priest and sleep with them.
I'll tell you one thing right fucking now. If he plays fucking Rodan even slightly as I expect him to, he's not stepping foot inside any fucking church I know of. I'm stopping him at the goddamn door.
Good. And if anything, the disciples probably will too, because they'll be like, "Yeah, we heard from our God. Yeah, sorry, man, you're on the blacklist."
Hey, Omater hit us up on the line. He said you gotta fucking go.
So Griffin, I have
So
a
Vaughn has
question.
called and said you hit on his bitch. So sorry, you can't come in.
Okay, not Griffin. Joe, question.
Answer.
What would Bahamut's reaction be to me casting Blessed Weapon on a bag of crack? What would Bahamut's reaction be if I asked him to bless a bag of crack as a weapon?
So
What?
we're gonna have to end here today. Jacob is off of his meds and sleep deprived, and it is not safe for us to be around him.
He starts muttering fucking gibberish and just says our fucking like coordinates and our IP address. What was that? You fucking Sans?
Okay.
Are you good?
Damn.
Hey Griffin, have you noticed that in every single podcast at some point there's a moment of like self-reflection when we look at Jacob and just ask if he's okay, and he kind of just sits in silence for a moment?
Yeah, it worries me genuinely.
That's the staple of our podcast. Every other podcast is like something that everyone remembers him for. Ours is just therapy sessions for Jacob halfway through.
Okay, because I don't know if you guys heard, but my grandmother came to my room. Right?
Oh, that was your. I thought that was Joe's dad.
No, my
Oh.
grandmother came to my room and was like, "Hey," and I'm sitting there, fucking scrambling to mute my mic real quick. Because I have no
Before
idea.
you fucking say something horrible to her.
No, before she says some shit that I don't want over a computer or on live fucking internet. And it's, can you get your stuff from behind the couch? It's on your mom's to-do list. And I'm like, how about you suck my nuts?
Tell your grandma I'm gonna strangle her.
Because my thing is this: she has heard me talking loudly this entire for 3 hours now. There is not once there's not once a thought that goes through that empty ass head of hers of, hey, he might be in a conversation or in something else that he is involved in. I might want to knock and wait for a yes, enter real quick. No, it's just opening. Hey, Jake, good morning. And you know,
Hey, Jake.
it's one thing if it's like every once in a while. No, this has been 20 years of this. I'm at my breaking point.
I mean, I understand, but you know, you haven't thought of something, and that's that You could just kill her in cold blood, and no one on the stream is going to say anything. All of our viewers are not going to care. Murder
All of our one viewer.
her. Paint her flesh across the walls. Let the wall be your canvas.
I've been thinking about painting
And
my
her,
truck red.
Huh?
I said I've been thinking about painting my truck red.
Oh,
Cool.
okay then.
Well, that's even easier. You just gotta run straight through your fucking house and kill her.
We do not condone. I guess this would be grand matricide.
No. We do condone this because at the end of the day, it's your life. Life is short. You should live it how you want to live it.
No regrets.
Yeah, Jacob.
No regrets.
Yes, no regrets. What a fitting name for our podcast. Today's episode is sponsored by the letter M for murder.
It is also sponsored by the letter H for heroin
And homicide.
and homicide.
And hatred.
And the letter P for premeditated murder.
Oh God!
This is getting worse.
So our second sponsor for the evening.
Damn it, man.
Lie.
Sponsor us now.
It'll dissolve your worst crimes. Pure lie.
We are also sponsored by the letter V for vodka, in which I will drown my sorrows tonight.
And V for violence. V for vehicular manslaughter. What the fuck?
D
Okay,
for
legitimate
don't,
question.
as in I don't know where the body is.
Yeah, legitimate question though. If we talk about this, what we're talking about right now, is this technically illegal if an officer is to
No,
listen to it, for them to
it
send a
is
wellness
not.
inspector to our house?
While yes, we are technically making actionable statements, it is one of those things where it's like, again, it kind of falls under free speech.
So if I were to say right now on December 11th, 2021 at 12:37 p.m., I'm going to murder Jacob's mother in her home.
God. Maybe we don't test it.
Is that a threat?
Yes, technically, but it is technically an actionable statement, but
Well, the problem is that if someone does murder her at that time, you're the first suspect.
so you're the first suspect. But essentially, what threats do is it's not that they are not something that you can really be, unless it's straight up harassment that through the amount of threats and the frequency of. It's more so used as ammunition to worsen your sentence and worsen your
Jacob,
charge.
it sounds to me like you've been considering this a while.
Yeah, you've been studying.
I dabbled in law for a bit.
Like you dabbled in fucking perpetual motion devices.
Yes, I did.
Jesus.
Everyone
Hey,
has.
let's talk about something else. Let's talk about something else. Jacob, how much money was it you fucking gave to Star Citizen again? How much was it?
We don't talk about
Yes.
that.
How much?
Jacob,
Well, how about I don't want to fucking talk about it?
okay.
I'm
It's very-
sorry if I'm not going to give in to your gaslighting just to have the same goddamn conversation for the 75th time.
That's not even gaslighting. What?
Griffin, by saying that, that's gaslighting. You gotta make the feelings valid.
I mean, listen, give your fucking money to it, but fuck. If we know, homie.
Jacob, I think you're tired.
I mean, for fuck's sakes. He fucking went out on us a few moments ago, so yes, he's clearly a little bit fucking tired.
The knife
I like to-
fucking calls. But anyways,
Excuse me, Patrick Bateman?
Don't worry about it. Not everybody copes in the healthiest of ways.
Hip to be square looking ass. I feel like this is a call for help, and we should be taking this more seriously, Griffin.
I can only take it as seriously as he gives it to us.
Like,
This
all
is
I'm
fair.
saying is, did I have to hide my pocket knives for a little bit recently? Yes, I did.
Well, you should probably not hurt yourself. We've had this talk before, Jacob.
Remember, kids. Remember.
Don't say it.
Short ways.
Don't say it.
No.
Besides, you weren't even about to say it right. It's a cross for attention, down for death. Not fucking short ways, long ways.
No, down for
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
down ways, long ways. Who the fuck says down ways, long ways?
Short ways, long ways is how I originally heard it.
What? That doesn't make any sense. Fucking the length of the cut depends on you, not the direction you're going.
But okay, Griffin. From side to side is shorter than from the wrist to the elbow.
Hey, no one said you're going all the way down to the fucking elbow.
But that is the long ways of your arm, short ways of your arm. That is what it's referring to, not the actual cuts themselves.
I feel like you're trying to justify this in the same way you tried to justify playing No Man's Sky for a while.
That's a genuinely decent game.
I mean, No Man's Sky is actually not that bad anymore. No Man's Sky has improved a lot.
Anymore. This man was still defending it when it was bad.
Oh, yeah, no, I remember that.
The problem wasn't even that you were defending it. That's fine. Is you were very. It was less you were defending it. It's you were praising it for what it was fucking doing.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sure if you remember, Jacob, but when we used to do track, I think it was like sophomore year, and you told me all about No Man's Sky, and it seemed like the coolest shit ever because I'd only heard of it through you. And then when I actually got my hands on the game, I was like, "What the fuck? This is actual dog shit. What were you playing?"
Okay, real quick. To be fair, it wasn't because I remember exactly how it happened. It wasn't that I had been playing it and then told you about it. It was that I had heard about it, looked into it because it was before it was even out, and we talked about it then. Because I remember exactly you and I when it came out, you and I were on hole 4 at Cypress Creek. Cypress Creek during golf practice because that was when it came out. And you're talking about what?
How do you remember this shit?
Specifically, we were at that sand trap right by the water hazard on the right of the course, down by the green. And it was just you and I going through it, so we were talking and shit. And you said something like, "Oh yeah, when Sky got released," I was like, "Yeah, I'm really excited for you." And you went, "I wouldn't be. A lot of the shit I'm hearing is horrible." And I'm like, I'm still gonna get it just because I've been waiting for this game for forever. Because essentially, it was I was caught up in the hype of it, then you were caught up in the hype of it, and I was just fucking ready for it. And then it was once they started adding, it was about a year later because I dropped it. I did when it first came out. I dropped it. And then it was when it came out and had base building elements and vehicles, I was like, nah, this is actually really fun. I actually really enjoy this. And that's when I started being like, nah, what it's doing is actually pretty good. And, they're actually doing some good with it. That's when I started praising it and semi-defending it.
Huh. You say semi-defending. Jacob, I would vehemently upset when I would fucking criticize it for a while. It was near trebuchet levels.
Ah, the trebuchet. My magnum opus of fuck you, Griffin. I'm gonna do some dumb shit.
The trebuchet. Let's waste so many of our resources that I was fucking slaving away to get you fuckers, stripping down to nothing, running into the hills, fighting fucking rock deer moose things, and just fucking filling my inventory with nothing but iron and coal to feed the forges of war so that you could sit there and fucking use all of it to build a trebuchet. Something we couldn't even use.
I still wanted to fuck around with it. That was all.
You never got anything out. You built it up on a hill, like right next to our shitty little fucking mailbox looking base, and it just fucking sat there until I found it and got rid of it for what little resources I could scavenge.
Because I was still fucking working on it when you came by and dismantled it, you dick.
Because we were working on that, Jake. We were working on elevators and a base, not fucking, oh, I'm gonna go build a train. Because you didn't tell anyone either. You just went silent for a while and just started working fucking quietly. And when we would ask you what you were doing, you're like, oh, I'm getting like wood or something.
Yeah, because
this
this is how the shit went down. Because I had said, hey, I want to build a trebuchet. Griffin goes, no, don't do that. That's a dumbass idea. And me at the time was like, oh, well, I don't want to make him mad, but I really want to build a trebuchet. So I went off on my own and built a trebuchet. But I was like, well, we're a group, so I'm going to use the fucking materials from here.
Which is, because let me explain why I didn't want him to build a trebuchet.
Because we were in a PvE-only server. Yes, we fucking know, Griffin. God damn, it's easy to say. You don't have to sit here and explain it for 5 fucking minutes. Anyways, it was a PvE server where there was no PvP at all, like, not even optionally enter into Clan War. But still, it was my first full time actually putting a lot of effort into playing Conan Exiles, so I wanted to actually see what the game had to offer. So I'm so goddamn sorry that when I saw a trebuchet, something that I actually have a lot of interest in, siege warfare and medieval architecture and shit like that, I was like, I want to see this shit in game and see if they do it justice. So goddamn sorry.
Jacob,
What?
I don't mind that you built a trebuchet as in performing the action. I minded that you did it after asking to do it. Me and Chase saying, no, that would be a waste of our resources and time, and we don't have things fully set up yet. Don't do it. We can't even use the thing, because there's also not even damage to buildings. And then instead of just being like, all right, cool, and then maybe saying like, okay, well, can we build one later when we have things more set up? You just took the resources that we were trying to fucking use, which is why Chase had to kept asking me to get him more fucking stone and wood and metal because we kept fucking getting it siphoned from us.
Which, to be fair,
that's why I'm mad.
To be fair, a good portion of our base was just fucking redundant and useless. It had no purpose other than, because like literally, if we had just the first level, we would have been fine. But we had like 4 levels with literally nothing on it.
Well, that was the thing. Chase thinks builds before he thinks, and then afterwards he thinks, and then he rebuilds, and then takes things apart, and then rebuilds them. Mind you, he got a lot better as time went on and became a stairmaster. But still, fucking, I'm angry because you made me have to work far longer. Realize how many times I died to those goddamn rock demons?
I will say I did eventually though because like I redeemed myself by becoming the fucking the priestess wench of the group.
There was no redemption because you kept your fucking titties all covered because you were afraid your mom was gonna come in and see you naked.
To be fair, that is a very valid concern for someone raised in a conservative Christian family.
Yes, so why would you make a female character?
Because gender dysphoria.
And you led me to the wrong base, you fuck. I'm still not okay with that.
What, the West versus East situation?
This motherfucker looked at the river, looked at the map, knew where I was,
looked at the fucking compass.
East. Go down river.
Griffin got all the fucking way to another biome before Chase went, oh yeah, no, you were supposed to go west.
Ocean. And then fucking Chase literally was like, dude, where are you? We fucking like, we need you over here. I'm like, I haven't seen you dickheads yet. I'm still going east. And he looks at the fucking map. He's like, how the fuck are you going east, dog? We're upriver. And then I yelled at you. And then he fucking called me while I was on the toilet because this was before I got in there. He was like, hey, I don't know what he's doing. He keeps building stairs on this platform trying to make, and I don't know what to say. I had to fucking go in there because you kept building stairs on our defensive platform. You fucking boob.
In my defense, we had a platform like 30 feet straight up. Oh, I was like, well, we need stairs.
No, it was like 5 fucking blocks up, and the whole point of it was so that fucking creatures couldn't climb up to us, which is why we didn't have stairs, because it's Corn Exiles, and you can climb.
Anyways. Okay, then why the fuck did you guys just say that? Like, hey, look, we're doing this with the animals. No, it was never that. It was just, you're a dumbass, get rid of the stairs. But no fucking... No! There was never that goddamn talk.
Jacob, on the fucking phone, and I'm gonna believe him in this situation. He told me, I told him we were just building a platform, and he started building stairs, and I asked him why, and he told me why, and I told him that wasn't what we were doing, and then he kept doing it.
What the fuck?
I miss Conan Exiles. We should all play Conan Exiles again.
No, we
I don't
fucking
want
shouldn't.
Again at some
Conan
point.
Exiles is a very fun.
No, the fuck
game.
it isn't.
I
God
played-
damn, no, it isn't.
Oh my god. Jacob, I mean, I don't know. I played it with Griffin. I thought it was pretty fun.
Joe, please shut the fuck up.
I was just stating my experience. I remember I was inside Griffin's weird fort wall thing, and there was some. And I went outside the wall. Yeah, and there was this giant scorpion, and it kind of fucked my shit. And then we went at some other guy's house, and I don't think he liked us being in there.
Fucking, I remember one goddamn time, some fucking assholes, because we had like this whole section, like we had it blocked off. We had like a big fucking road leading to the center. We had our gates, and we always had our gates open. We had little fucking signs outside them that said, you know, leave offerings for the road. You know, it's supposed to be like an optional little toll. And some fucking cunts fucking, they went and they got the scorpion and they started leading it into our wall and our fucking barricades while they were fighting it and using our walls, our crenellations, and our fucking units to help fight the goddamn thing. And fucking got like part of my beautiful, beautiful city wall I had made destroyed. I was so goddamn angry. Oh god. They didn't even fucking offer us any of the loot either. They just like fucking murdered it. It was like, oh, fucking ran off. There was those dickheads that built like right next to us as well. That was fucking annoying. Other than that, it was fun. I remember Bill's tower.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I climbed up.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. You should have been there.
Speaking of climbing, as of last night in New York City, a 49-year-old man climbed a Christmas tree in Fox News HQ in Manhattan and then lit it on fire while he was still in it, causing the tree to just get engulfed in flames, and he was arrested and they extinguished the fire. But what the fuck?
Did he say why he did it?
No.
Hey, he was not having a holly jolly Christmas, let me tell you what.
I think the funny thing is that it's a fairly large tree, and this was a 50-year-old man that seemingly effortlessly just climbed it, you know?
Hey man, you get the mountain men in there, they're gonna fucking climb that shit.
Just what a guy. But
speaking of climbing,
yes.
Joseph, when are you gonna start climbing the fucking ranks of Halo Infinite with me?
Well, I was telling Jacob earlier this morning that I did actually go out this morning and grab batteries, so I do have those now.
Oh, nice.
So it's good.
And what horrible task do you have to do for the rest of the day after we're done with this?
Today I have to go and finish Christmas shopping.
I fucking hate you.
So wait.
How dare?
Wait. You said finish Christmas shopping.
Yes.
So does that mean you still have to go Christmas shopping on the weekend we're supposed to play?
What?
Oh, no, that's what they were doing, Christmas Town and shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, that's right.
No, I wouldn't be waiting until the 18th to get stuff. I'd be wrapping stuff by then.
I still need to do my shopping.
But I hmm.
Listen, you
I'm
gotta get your
trying.
placements done at some point, all right? You can't be a little scrubblord that only plays fucking quick play and fucking 8v8 team battles.
True, and I'm just worried because that map, the second map we were on yesterday, the fucking big ass one with the vehicles, I don't like that.
I don't think that's in ranked.
I would hope not.
All I'm saying, we both had, except for that map, fucking, decent scores each fucking time.
Oh yeah. And then we had the fucking wipeout that happened for the last match of the game where we like got 3-0 and then our team ended up on the top of the fucking leaderboard.
Okay,
Yo, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, Microsoft, if anybody from Microsoft is hearing this shit, please fucking fix that aspect of squad matchmaking where you're not in a squad in a big team battle with your squad.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
There is no excuse.
Like, pretty much every fucking like first-person shooter that lets you do shit like that is like in some way, at the very least, represents that you're also like even in fucking Call of Duty, like when you see people's like usernames and shit, like their gamer tags above them, like there'll be a slightly different color for the friendly units if they're part of your party. I mean, if they can fucking do it, come on now, 343 can do it.
Actually, I wanna ask a question. Um, how do we feel about NFTs on this podcast?
So ready for this shit? Ready for this shit?
Oh Lord.
Right now, I don't know if it's still going on. I don't know how long it's been going on for. But so VR chat, right, has their kind of buy in like few times a year thing called VCAT or virtual market. Or essentially they do like these showcase rooms where you can go around and see. It's usually a bunch of 3D assets, right, for like building avatars or modeling and stuff like that. Sometimes they'll have like coding stuff, a good mixed bag. At one of the booths was an NFT, two of them to be precise, on display in a game where one of the main features is a camera function. So guess what everybody in my group did?
I'm going to say that they probably observed it and appreciated it and moved on.
Don't go with that. Look, all I'm saying is, if you buy an NFT and try to act like you have sole ownership of that, like, technically yes, but actually no. Sorry, friend, but right-click save as exists. Snipping tool exists. Print screen exists.
Jacob, are you condoning theft on stream?
Fucking... I'm not condoning theft. I'm just saying it's a bad investment.
I don't know, Jacob. This is a pretty fucking cool picture of a monkey in a Superman costume I have.
Now, Griffin, by any chance, can I see that picture of the monkey in the Superman costume?
Yeah, I'll show it to you next session.
Okay, can you send it to me?
Griffin, I swear to God, if you actually buy an NFT, I'm going to take your phone and strangle you with it.
No, I'm joking. I just want to screenshot it down.
No, you can't screenshot my NFT.
I have a collection of like 70 plus NFTs on my phone that I've screenshotted from people. And at one point, I just want to make a Twitter account where I just dispose of said NFT posts. But I find this shit so funny. Have you seen like the people that are actually like serious about this shit? They've purposed the word the acronym POC, or not acronym. Fuck, English. They've repurposed POC from people of color to people of crypto.
Oh my god.
That's actually kind of amazing.
Oh wait, I think I sent it to you guys already once, but I'm gonna send it to you guys again in the group chat. I don't want to describe it on stream. Contrary to popular belief, I do have some limits. Where's the shit?
I think you're lying.
Shut up. Oh, it's not far from here.
Yeah, like there's this one here, and it's like NFT phobia, trigger warning, swears in capitals. NFT phobia is one of the single biggest problems on this website.
Hold on. Trigger warning capitals?
The only things in this tweet that are in capitals is NFT and POC, but they literally say that it means people of crypto.
They're
And that the
acronyms.
Yeah. The unchecked amounts of hate, threats, and harassment that we POC have to face on an everyday basis is crushing me. Join me in trying to hashtag stop NFT phobia.
They've got to be joking, right?
Nope.
They're not joking. These are the type of people. Look, there's two different types of calling someone a doofus. There's doofus as a joke, and then there's actually calling someone a doofus and meaning it. And let me tell you, being called a doofus by someone and they mean it wholeheartedly is the biggest insult you could ever get. Because how do you recover from that shit? You just got called a fucking dork.
Remember when there was that guy? It was before Doom Eternal came out, and he made a post about it. And he made a post with like a theory that like a voice wasn't Dr. Hayden, and then you got on him about it obviously being it, and then you pulled me into it, and then we just spent the night fucking insulting him, and then it turned out that he was actually right.
No, the voice wasn't Dr. Hayden that he was like talking about. What it was is for the trailers, if you listen to the different ones, they actually have different voice actors do different voice lines. So that voice line was actually said by the con maker in the game, actually.
I found it.
Yeah, that was the thing. He was saying like, oh, you know, it's gonna be cool to have fucking him. You were like, that's not Hayden's voice, or no. He was saying that it wasn't Hayden, and then you said it was, and then I didn't care, so I agreed, and then it turned out that we were just wrong. We never apologized to him. Where is he?
Yeah, we didn't. It was just literally them just switching up the voice lines and who said it in like when the game was like released.
And we called him a lot of things.
We did. You told him that you hope he loses like all motor vehicle function or something like that.
Oh yeah. No. I used the good old fucking day night insult, and I said that I hope that he loses his dominance in his hands, so that way, you know, it's like if he's right hand dominant, it's like he has two left hands now, and you know he goes to fucking brush his teeth. Oh, you got fucking toothpaste in your nose. You go to eat cereal. Oh, fucking milk's everywhere. You know, I don't want you to die. No. God, Lord, no, that'd be way too much. I just want you to fucking suffer such an inconvenience for the rest of your life. Something like that.
I just looking back on it, we were so mean. But then again, he literally it went from me being like, nah, you know, like you can tell it's the voice actor for Samuel Hayden, which it was in the actual audio for it, even though they did change it when the game was dropped. But I was like, no, like, you know, that's the voice actor for Hayden, and he like just insulted me and then went to my posts immediately to insult me in my post and was like, you look real fucking stupid here, and I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, he got so bent out of shape, like, from that. And oh my god, what the fuck, my ears just started ringing. I think he's trying to contact me. Hello?
I just wanted to fuck with him there. Yeah. Nah, it was fucking... We started looking up, like, old fucking... I think did one of us call him a vagabond?
I believe so, yeah. And then we called him a
You
lobotomite, too.
reprobate vagabond.
Called him a
Harlot.
ruffian. I know at one point one of
I
us called him a nincompoop.
Yeah, we suggested. I know we at some point we also suggested that he get a lobotomy or something like that, but it seems like he already did or something.
I'd suggest you get a lobotomy, but that'd improve your situation.
It was a wonderful situation. If anything, I think it was real grand.
Damn, this picture isn't sending.
You know what,
What?
Joseph?
What?
I say with the official release of the first DLC, that I've not played yet. I know, unfortunately, Jacob, you've not played it because you make me sad. 1 to 10, what's your official rating of Far Cry 6?
Um, I feel I feel like the ending was a little too abrupt, and the last mission was a little too fast paced, and I was expecting a lot more from it. But given everything else in the game, I feel like it kind of makes up for it in a way. Given that you have checkpoints and outposts and like these larger areas that you can take on now and all sorts of stuff, and the fact that you do technically have like post like end game gameplay with like the different areas being controlled
Yeah, you
by
get
the
like repeating missions and shit.
yeah, which is nice. I can assume that probably after a while it would get a little tiring, but you know it is nice to at least have something end game wise. Um, I'm not too bothered by multiplayer not being there, considering that multiplayer has always been kind of non-existent in a Far Cry game, as in no one really cared about it.
And they have
But
the spec op missions, which are really, I mean, I had fucking fun when we did it. That was dope as hell.
um,
I don't
but I
think.
mean,
I don't think.
in total,
I don't think Instagram wants me sending anything involving NFTs.
you don't think what?
I don't think Instagram wants me sending anything involving NFTs right now.
Because you can't steal their blockchain, bro. But I would say it's about an 8, maybe 8.5 out of 10. Maybe a 9 also because fishing. Fishing alone is good.
Yeah, I'd probably say 8.5. I feel like it is one of those games where it honestly just needed like an extra mission at like each point, and that probably would have made like all the fucking difference. But like it sort of rides on the fact that like it was such a fun ride for as short as it was that like it kind of gets away with it. Um, the new things they added, I didn't really mind. There were still some cringy parts, and some parts that just didn't really work. Um, but I mean, honestly, overall, I'm impressed with it. And like I said, I've not tried the Voss DLC, but it sounds fun. But I've just not got it yet. Um, I mean,
Yeah, I
like I
haven't tried
said,
it either.
the only part that we didn't really even fully explore, which would have added a fair bit of playtime, was the Spec Ops stuff. You know, we only did the first mission of that. But honestly, that was fucking dope. Like, to be fair, like going through that whole fucking dino park, like actually taking our time, working together properly, and like planning out what we would fucking do. That shit was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Especially the fucking end where we had to fucking hold off against those final waves, and I was just sitting in the fucking pool, just desperately trying not to fucking die.
Oh.
Oh.
It was a fun experience. I think if anything, I would probably play it again at some point. But that's also one of the things about Far Cry games. Sadly, is like I've never really found too much replay value in them, and so I'm probably gonna forget about the DLC before I ever get a chance to play it.
Yeah.
But it is by far the best Far Cry since, I would say, in my humble opinion, since like Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4.
Yeah.
And I would say it's on par with it's on par with all the other two, all the other ones.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of interesting thing on Far Cry games because, like, at least in my experience, it sounds like yours is pretty much the same. Like, you'll play them once they're like, you'll have like a good fucking like chunk of time where like that's all you play and you just fucking do everything in it. Like, just immediately, you don't stop doing anything, and then you're just sat there like, oh well, fuck, I've got no more game.
Yeah.
Because really think about how many times, that you've done, say, like a stronghold, and you do it a certain way. Really, how many times are you gonna actually bother to try and go back and retake it in a different manner?
Oh, damn.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, got when I sure Far Cry 5 was kind of sucky. After I beat the game and I retook all the outposts, I was like, you know what? I'll try the whole outpost master thing where it resets all of them. I only got to like one outpost and I was like, shit, this is really fucking boring because I did the same exact thing last time.
Yeah, because typically the first thing you do for an outpost is like whatever your perfect preferred strategy is, and it only changes if something goes wrong.
Yeah.
Well, damn, I just fucking disassociated the fuck out.
Welcome back, Jacob. Do you think maybe this would be a good time to end so you can get rest?
No, I disassociated for another reason. My grandmother paid another visit to the room. Door's not locked and closed, so.
What did you do?
And I quote, I would really appreciate if you would clean up the language that you're using, or keep your voice down. Go fuck yourself at this point. I don't really care. I really don't.
So December 11th on Saturday, 2021 at 12:37 p.m. I'm still going to be killing her. And the weapon of choice is going to be an ice pick. And I'm going to go for the head, and I'm going to leave a calling behind.
Like, I didn't, because it didn't pop into my brain, but like if I was a little less tired, my immediate response would have been yeah, and it's like, yeah, and I would really enjoy if you didn't barge into my room while I'm obviously doing something and I'm obviously busy with a voice chat going, because I find that I find it offensive. But you don't see that changing now, do you? Or I'm gonna say, well, but I don't see that changing anytime soon now, do I? So.
So, did any of you ever play the Hellboy video game?
Nope.
No.
It wasn't very good.
I don't even remember a Hellboy
Griffin.
video.
Okay, Griffin, I have to see you real quick. Where's the Xbox Store app?
Huh?
Shadow Run.
Hey, Shadowrun's a good video game. God damn it.
Okay, what? I get four results for games. I open it up, only get two. Microsoft. You might want to change that real quick. What the fuck? Where is?
What are you even looking for?
Do you know how to do Morse code, Griffin?
Let me open up this app.
Are you looking for the Shadowrun video game?
Yes.
I'll give you my copy.
They said that they had a
Yeah, I was
digital
gonna
copy.
say also, like, What?
I was gonna say, I thought they had it digital. You said that they were doing it digitally through
Oh,
whatchamacallit.
Yeah, but like fucking, I mean, it's gonna be difficult to find. I think. Are you looking through it? Are you looking for it on your fucking computer?
Yeah, because you can even if you
Well,
can't get
no,
it
you're
on
not gonna find it on there.
even if you can't get it on PC, you can still pull it up on the computer.
No, it's actually been really weird to find backwards compatible games lately. I don't know what it is. They did something with the fucking store.
Fuck.
The fuck is that noise?
I'm just practicing.
Jesus.
Griffin, did you know that H Morse code is?
Oh, so fucked up.
What's
Oh.
please God help me in Morse code?
I think it's screaming. I think it's.
Well, I guess
fucking
technically
screaming.
it'd be tap 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 or SOS SOS.
Good Christ.
Though let's just hope they don't take SOS to mean shoot on sight. Shoot on sight.
Yeah, that would not be good.
You know what? You know what I found quite fascinating a few nights ago.
What?
Tubi. I always thought it was a scam. It's not though. It's actually free. It has a weirdly large collection.
What is it again?
Tubi. It's on fucking Xbox store. Like I'd always seen it, and they just advertised like anime. I was like, oh, it's just an anime thing. And I fucking looked at it. No, it's like fucking a very bizarrely thorough collection of fucking like TV and fucking movies. Like fucking goddamn. I think Back at the Barnyard was on there. Fucking
Yo.
they have like the original Scooby Doo and fucking Flintstones. There's like a ridiculous selection. There's Battlestar Galactica on it. Oh man, I think it might have the original Star Trek series as well. Or like a couple of them. I don't remember.
Griffin.
Maybe I'm thinking about Paramount. I don't know. What?
They got Power Rangers Battle for the Grid on here.
Yeah, that's been out.
Huh.
It's fucking terrible.
I don't doubt it. It is a Power Rangers game.
Jacob, why have you not made me a mod yet?
What?
Haven't you made me a moderator yet?
In?
What?
Jacob, we only have so many options.
Shut up. My brain is going slow.
I was gonna say, anyways. I mean, we can call it like anyways, because I mean, we've got like what, 4 or 5 hours, and also plus I have to go soon.
3 hours, 42 minutes, 43, 44, 45.
Yeah, that's a time, Jacob.
Oh my god.
What?
Oh dear.
What the fuck is going on?
I don't know. I have to get rid of these fucking bottles in my room.
If I haven't killed you or myself by the end of the week, I've failed.
I've got probably till like 110.
Jesus H. Jesus fucking H. Started off so strong. Now we're here. Ah!
Okay, let's fucking kill it here so I can go pass out.
Yeah, you need some sleep.
Yeah, you should probably do that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it was nice talking with you all today. And all sorts of fun experiences that have happened.
Was it?
Yes, it was a blast.
Hopefully next week we'll have another episode. We'll see how Joe's schedule goes. If all else, we'll make that episode about the one shot I ran, and Griffin and I will do that because Joe was not involved in that, and that'll just be a nice easy thing for us to do. But yeah, other than that, just Tuesdays and Wednesdays, variable times right now, especially because of the holidays. So yeah.
Okay. I'm also gonna let you guys know now before I go. I'm gonna send you guys my location on December 11th so that you guys know that I have an alibi, just in case.
I'm going to make sure to doctor it so that it puts you right at that house.
Please do. I need a scapegoat.
It's gonna be so terrible if something happens. We come to the podcast next week, and something happened, and everyone's gonna look at me. I swear to God.
Jesus fucking Christ. You could always just live on the streets for a little bit.
I could, yeah.
No,
But
just run from the law, hitch rides on trains.
yeah. But I'm going to bid adieu and get ready to head out.
See you boys. See everybody later.
Goodbye.
Night,
Mwah.
boys. Mwah, mwah, mwah.